Press 1 if y'all can hear me. Let's see, Mr. Doll Brother. Peace, Turtle. I'm just trying to see if y'all can hear me. Okay. I can hear myself now. So I don't know what's going on. Let's see, Mr. Doll Brother. Peace, Turtle. I'm just trying to see. Oh, I'm waiting on Creek Running Water. We'll see where he's at. Peace, sis. Peace, Marcia. This link is only for Creek Running Water. He's getting ready to join, and he just contacted me back, so he's getting ready to join in, y'all. So come on in. I'm gonna let Creek have the floor. How's everyone doing tonight? Oh, you know you got one now, Woo. I'm finna give you one. I'm waiting on Creek, y'all. He said he was coming. That's what I'm waiting on. Okay. I can hear myself now. High vibes, sis. Fire water. High vibes. High vibes to everybody in the chat. I'm just sitting here. I'm trying to get people in, get the chat build up for him, so he can come in and start teaching. I'm gonna have to re-put it in the chat again. It's for Creek Running Water. Let me share this to my Facebook page. High vibes, everyone. High vibes, Harold Johnson and Wilmore Reed. High vibes. I don't know, we wait. It just got started. Okay, Nana, do that, please. Thank you, Nana Woo. I guess he'll be in here in a few minutes. Okay, there you go. We got him. Okay, Nana, do that, please. Thank you, Nana Woo.
Greetings.
I guess he'll be in here in a few minutes. This thing is moving slow. Creep. Okay, there you go. We got him. Okay, Nana, do that, please. I'm just gonna mute myself, Creek, and let you take over, okay?
All right, Halito, peace. Okay.
Halito.
All right. Okay, excellent. So we go ahead and mute. I got you on YouTube on the other end. Dealing with the nationality, civics, and law. So let's go ahead and begin. Before you do that, I definitely want to give thanks and honors to the ancestors, the Great Spirit. You know what I'm saying? Anything that we speak about, man, is definitely from a Indian standpoint, because we're not black, so we can't accept a brand and expect to have a nationality. Okay, and you can't profess to have something without something on record or some a proof of your status and your standing. Your status and standing is always going to give credit to whatever your nationality is. So, the first thing I want to do, I'm going to share my screen first, though, so we can get on here. What is nationality? Let me see here. Okay, share screen. Just let me know. You throw 1 in the chat if y'all can see the screen. 2 if you don't. Just let me know. Okay. Can y'all see on the screen? Let's throw 1 in the chat. You should see a screen that says nationality. Okay. So we can be clear on what the definition of nationality is. I'm going to read the definition of nationality because I think a lot of confusion is some people don't know what nationality is. A lot of people think that nationality is a church, a group, membership. Or they think it's a religion. It's not none of that. It's not what nationality is. And it's not wrong for you to have a religion if that's what you so desire. But that's not what nationality is. And why is it important to have nationality? We need to underline those type of things here. My screen does flip. I just wanted to flip here to see what we got in the chat as far as ones. Okay, 1. Okay, everybody rocking with. All right, let's keep it moving. Okay, so right now we got nationality, definition. But what I like to do is I like to have some etymology in there too, and I also like to use the Black Laws Dictionary because that's how I was trained to exercise this type of topic. We talked about civics and law. Okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I research, so we can put a research together, and we can just kind of just follow along, do some on-screen tutorials, and then at the end, of course, we do some Q&A. Okay. So right now, let's go ahead and do that online etymology. Oops. Okay. don't particularly use Google. I go back and forth from Google. This also it's enhanced by Google too as well. For those who's looking for something outside of Google or another search or return. The name of this one is called Search Slim. Well, actually, it's called SlimJet. I'm sorry, slimjet.org. You can go there, download another browser to give you another option outside of using Google. Sometimes Google likes to blacklist a return, so you don't always get the exact definition or whatever it is you're doing because they like to flag and blacklist. It's all done by an AI technology, okay, that uses analytics and algorithms, okay. So basically, just tracking what you're doing on your computer. A lot of times they'll restrict certain sites, so I like to use other things other than Google. So it will give you the same returns too as well. It's extra stuff too. So that's useful to have. Slimjet.org. The etymology for Chrome, skip the homepage. Whatever it's not giving us the background. Okay. And I like to use the online Blackbox dictionary. And a lot of people will, because I have this thing where I get on people about being Google scholars. And it's not that we can't use Google because everything has been digitized now and we're living in the future. So we don't have to walk 20 miles to the library to go look up something. Okay? We want to make use of using online technology and Google as a search base, but we don't want to use that as a begin all end all. Okay? And we know that you can find citations and Wikipedia. Wikipedia is not a scholarly search. However, it will give you a good collective, basic mainstream definition, or something opposed to what would be considered to be scholarly. But you can use your Wikipedia, and I showed that on the last bill, where you can still find your sources or citations. I'm sorry. You can find the sites. It'll give you a citation. It'll give you the book where it came from, the source of where the information came from. So we can use Wikipedia, okay? And like I said, we can still use Google, but we like to cross search. Cross search means to use that information and check something else to check that source to see if it's right. So we want to be able to fact check what it is that we're looking. We don't want to just use Google and just run with that definition and say that's the only thing that's available, okay? And then swear to it that that's the truth. There's too much of that going on right now, and that's not how I started off. I've always been a book reader, coming up at my age, what I'm saying, we always had access to a library too as well. So I like the 5th edition book library, Black Law's Dictionary. Pretty much, a lot of people like different ones. I think the Black Law's Dictionary is not going to be too much of a variation from other ones. Some of them are more of an abridged version, which will give you something more detailed or maybe straight to the point, whereas some other ones will kind of give you a generalization, but it'll lead you to the same prefix or the suffix of whatever that word is. And again, you want to be able to fact check whatever it is that you got. You don't always want to look at that as the only answer as it is to something else. You want to look at other things as comparison and do a cross research. Okay. And so I like Black Law 5, so we're going to run with that. Okay, let's set up everything so we can just look at it. Okay, this is a paid version, so we're going to get up to all of that. Let's go down here. One I usually always get, let's see. That's sale. Hey, noise. Okay, Black Law Dictionary, Free Line Legal Dictionary. Because I know y'all Moorish is on here. I get a few, not a whole lot, but I get a few of y'all that email me. I got a whole bunch of them on my Facebook page. And y'all like, did you know, blah, 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 blah. Listen, man, for those that don't know, okay, I studied law and civics with Moorish Americans for 4 years, a minimum of 4 years. Okay, I started off in Temple Number 1 in Chicago, the founding temple that was up under the Prophet Noble Ali, which is residing family still there. Still there. I met with them. A lot of his connected family was there. L. Rookins, Stony Island, Moors, man. I mean, you're talking about the people that started it. Now, you're talking about this watered down temple, this was, established 15 years ago. You're doing UCC and commerce, because the UCC and commerce is not what the Prophet taught. And in secret, the Prophet did a lot of things in secret that are now starting to come out now. A lot of his documentation and original artifacts are there in Temple 1 and has never been released. A lot of stuff, actually, when they had his soul day, I was able to see a lot of that stuff, and they wouldn't let you take pictures of it. Okay, they wouldn't let you take pictures of it. So, I hear a lot of Moors and they debate back and forth. And first thing I say is, and a lot of them get upset about it, but that's not what the Prophet taught. Okay, and we can't speculate what he was going to teach if he's not here. Okay, that's only speculation. All right, so I don't try to go too far out of the line of that. I respect, Moorish Americans, but I feel like I know a little bit more than being in Chicago, where it was founded at. I have more of an outlook, or more of a closer realization of what his mission was, and seeing and sharing his ideas with his family, and being in his temple and seeing inside the temple what it was all about. Because he had pictures of Indians everywhere in there. Okay, but they never even claimed to be Indian and Moor. He never did that. I don't know where all that subject became mainstream. But people kind of merged that in there because everybody wants to feel as though Moors came first. So because we're here, everybody got to be more first. But I don't think every individual, 1 million plus people, were all Moors. I just don't see how that's possible. I do know that the Moors did do some traveling. They were here. So I don't disapprove a lot of what the Moors believe in. Just some stuff, and that's not. You'll see me go back and forth, because the thing is, Moors have studied a lot of this already when it comes to nationality. What I don't understand is how they're going to claim themselves to be a temple and then say that that's a nationality. When the Prophet never did that. He made it so that you was a member of a trust, okay, and that everybody take on the last name of a Bay or a Moor, and he always claimed to be Moabite. I never heard him say that Moorish American is your nationality. people running with that, and it's not true. Okay, nobody has a Moorish. A Moorish science temple is a temple. You can't have a temple. Can't be your nationality. Okay, a nationality is the status of belonging to a particular nation. Okay. Okay, and the similarity of citizenship. Okay, so we're gonna get into nationality, citizenship, because they're saying it's similar to citizenship. All right, let's go to definition number 2. An ethnic group forming a part of one or more political nations. Okay, so basically a conglomerate of people coming together, okay, to form a part of one more political nation. And I'm gonna kind of skip through, because I know some of these people are more advanced when it comes to nationality. It's going to be a body politic, right? I know that's what the Moors are going to say. A body politic, and that's facts. It is. So it just told you right here, ethnic group forming a part of one or more political nations. Okay, so you put together a nation or a government, you know what I mean, and that government stands for you. You stand for it. A government is in essence a nationality. Okay, in essence, the nationality is going to be the foundation of a lot of what we would consider to be root words. Okay, so nationality is the root word for citizenship. It's the root word for ethnics. So if you want to talk about people and where people come from, okay, or whether you have a country or a political nation or a government to back you up. A government would be synonymous to a nation, okay? Because we know that the government in the United States operates in the public as a country, but in the private, it's regulated and ran by, a corporation, basically, a banking corporation. Yeah. So let's look at nationality. You see the definition of that, and let's go with status and belonging to a particular nation. Okay. Now it's similar to citizenship. We click citizenship. Why is it similar to citizenship? And what is citizenship? Okay. The position or status of being a citizen of a particular country. Okay, so a citizen is an individual, okay, and a citizen is not a nationality, because a citizen refers to a person. It's a noun, a person, place, or thing. So let's go ahead and write that down. I'm gonna make some footnotes, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it ready, available for people to get these notes. So I'm gonna take notes. If you're not able to take notes, or if you are, or if you have problems making notes, or a lot of people don't know how to study and so forth, and their mind gets scrambled. So let's go ahead and pull up Word. Let's go in, because I pretty much did, other than just going off my head and freestyling, I've already got like an outline I put together. But I'm gonna go ahead and put one together here. Try to get some of this stuff on the screen. Let's go in. Okay. Okay. So. Sorry about that, William, brother. you got your statue. Matter of fact, we want to congratulate the brother Randolph Williams III. William Randolph III. He got his decoration done. I like to give honors to those that do the decoration, because other than that, you're a Negro without changing your status over. And we're going to get into that too. Okay. You know how I like to start off slow. We like to read. Hey, this is how we gotta do. We gotta do the due diligence, right? That's number one. All right, we gotta be able to read. We're intelligent people. No reason why we should be running from trying to read. Okay, nobody's saying we gotta read 20 pages at a time. We do gotta read. Okay, and we gotta make it necessary to read and write. Okay. All right, so let's start off with the definition of nationality. Okay, and how it is in. It is the essence, okay? We know that. We're talking about nationality. We can't talk about nationality without talking about citizenship or government or being a part of a nation. Right? Let's go right here talking about black. All right, nationality. So we're gonna put that right there. We probably try to clean it up a little bit. Let's see, go ahead and try. Again, I'll share the notes with those that are not able to do it, or if you just want to copy, go ahead and do some typing. And the right to hold a passport, citizenship, civil citizenship, okay, an ethnic group forming a part of one or more political nations. Okay, so we already know status, the status of belonging to a particular nation. So status is like the report. It's like when you talk about status of standing, status is the report, or basically giving you the status of what that element is. Okay, when you talk about standing, you can have a good or bad status. And your standing could be whatever that their identity is. Basically, that's a good way of describing what standing is. It's basically an identity. Who are you? How are you standing? How are you coming? You know what I'm saying? You stepping by yourself, who's backing you up? Who's your nation? Who's your country? Right? And these are the things that the government is going to ask you. These are the things that we let them answer for us, and we should. towards the end of this, you're going to see why it's very important to have your nationality. Okay. Okay. Not just sent out to a bunch of organizations, but you need to have it filed. Okay. And reading it out loud and making a public notice. A public notice is not being filed. I know people like to wrap their mind around what they think a declaration is. Okay, and they think because it's notarized. I just heard somebody telling me today that if it's notarized, it's a declaration. First of all, a declaration doesn't get notarized. Okay, contrary to mine, and when I was just starting off, and the one I did was notarized. I actually have did an amendment since then, which I've changed the way I've done it. Okay, and I fixed my old one. Okay, so it shouldn't be notarized. If it is, it's not something that is detrimental, but that's not how a declaration is done. Declaration shouldn't be in the jurisdiction of the person that you're coming from. So basically, if you're using a notary, a notary is the officer of that court. If you are declaring a citizen or claiming to be a citizen outside of the existing government, okay, which would in this case would be the United States, okay, then you wouldn't want to use an officer of their court in their organization, okay, to back up a full faith and credit or a claim that's not from you. So in other words, you will want to be able to use your own notary or witnesses in order to do that. Suffice that. A lot of people have already claimed to be an Indian tribe with a chief, but they're still using notaries in a court of justice, and then turn around and say, I'm not a part of your government, but they're using that government at the same time. It's a contradiction to the paperwork that they do it. You can't declare to be something separate, but then still using the same government that you're doing. You have to break all the way around that. It's just similar to what the United States did. Okay, they broke away from the government. They said they want total independence. Okay, and they used what they called the Declaration of Independence. Okay, once they did that as a group of people, because they were all grouped as one, but they also were the same. They were related to the same people they were breaking away from. They were all from Britain, and with the people that we're dealing with now, even Trump himself is German. Okay, they're all from Britain and certain parts of Britain and Europe. Okay, so having said that, I'm gonna look at some of these examples to show where some of these people have citizenship, okay, outside of what they consider to be the United States as a corporation. Okay, because a lot of them will put their citizenship on the record and then claim to be a foreign company or a member of a foreign country. Okay, at the same time. Okay, so we got citizenship. That's not you can't do that. No. That needs to be off. Okay, that needs to be off. Citizenship. What's the next one? Status and standard. We're gonna look about status and standard. Okay. Just put the flow sheet together, y'all. Hold on. Status. Okay. These are some of the things that pertain to nationality. Okay. Nationality is a broad term. It's not just one thing. It it's many components to come together that make a nationality, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. So, we're gonna go in, but we need to have all the pieces first. Okay, we got status, we got standing. Okay, we also got naturalization. Naturalization. What else? Let's go ahead with citizenship. Okay, citizenship. The position or status of being a citizen of a particular country. So citizenship is synonymous to a member. Okay, because it said belonging to. You belong to something, you're a member. You're a part of. A member is a part of something, right? That's usually part of an organization. Okay, well, why is not, a lot of people will say, hey, you're a member of the United States, a federal employee. Okay, well, employee is a member still. Okay. Whether, a member sometimes pays dues, right? Okay, but when an employee would receive funds, okay? So the difference between a member and an employee is still similar. It's synonymous. Okay, it's synonymous because they have two different functions, but they're very close in similarity. So they're going to be related because they have some of the same functions. Okay. All right. So we got. I'll put citizen right here, and I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'll take the numbers off of here. That's not right. I'll put citizen. Let's just do it like this. Citizens with members on the other side. Because, you know, citizens belong to a country. As we just said, since, you know, being a citizen of a particular country. Okay, a member, on the other hand, is what? A person, animal, plant, belonging. It's funny how they use the word person and belonging. It's the same sentence. It says a position or status being a citizen of a what was it said belonging to? Position of being a citizen of a particular country. Sports and belonging. No, that's wrong. So we got belonging to a particular group. Pretty much the same thing. Similar. It's basically saying that you belong to a group. Okay, group could be yeah, and if you work for the government, you will be a member, okay, of a particular group. And that group will be the country, considered to be a country. Okay, so of course they're going to, you know, these Caucasians that put these things together. Of course, they have a word of art. So they're definitely not going to make. They're not going to give you a flow sheet uh, to how things are formed. Okay, they're going to always try to throw you off with the words, and they say animals and plants. When you talk about a member, but that's not what anybody thinks about as a plant or animal when you talk about a member. I don't know, everybody says, oh yeah, that's an animal or plant when you talk about a member. When you talk about a member, I'm thinking about a corporation, the people that belong to a corporation. It's like a member of a club, or YMCA. The last thing I'm going to think about is an animal or a plant. A constituent piece of complex structure, okay, a member. Something that's a part of something, basically. Okay, so belonging to a particular group. And we'll just put that there. I want to keep good notes and we can go back and follow along on what it is that we need to do so we won't forget about it. Okay. So citizen is, let me see, let's go back here. I'll put together a flow sheet for y'all so you can see this. And go back into the chart. I like to have a whiteboard.
Let me ask everybody, can y'all hear Creek clearly? Press 1 if y'all can hear him clearly.
Here we go. Hey, I just turned
it like
on.
a buzzing. I don't know if it's me or mine.
I turned it up. I just turned it up. I just turned it all the way up. And I probably just need to speak a little bit louder. That's a particular group. Okay, so we got citizenship.
Can they see the screen clear?
Let me know.
Because on my end it looks kind of blurry, but it could be because I don't have my glasses on.
If not, I'm taking notes. So they'll be able to capture, what I'm doing on the notes.
Okay.
Definitely.
But y'all can't hear him clearly. Okay. I know the what you call is kind of small, so but okay.
Belonging to a particular group. Okay, so I just want to show people where one is a corporation and one is a nation. Okay, very important that you specify and know the difference between the two. Okay. Gotta be able to specify the two. So we got citizens, which is the position of a status of being a citizen of a particular country, which is the contrary to what a member is. It's very similar, but it's different in function. Okay, a member would belong to a country. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, not a country, a corporation. You know what I mean? Belonging to a particular group. Okay, a group could be a corporation. A corporation is a particular group. Okay, all right. So at the top of that, let's do this. But here, when we got citizens belong to a country. Okay. And members belong to a corporation. Okay. What is the definition of country? Country. A country is a nation with its own government. Okay. So it's a nation and a government is not the same thing. Okay. It says a nation with its own government.
They wanted to know, can you make your screen bigger? I don't know how.
Me make the screen bigger? Mine is already, it's already, I'm using the whole entire screen. I'll tell you what I do. I'll go ahead and, is that better?
I can't see it, but can the chat see it? My eyesight's bad. I ain't gonna sit there and lie.
Okay. Because
see if I make it like
the screen up. The screen is up by like 150.
Let me.
Okay, I can make it. I can try to broaden it up a little bit more. What about that? Is that good?
I'm trying to pick different screens to see what that it matter.
Okay, that's as big as that's zoomed in.
That's not the biggest you're gonna get it.
Yeah, I zoomed it all the way in. Are y'all able to see that? Let me see what's going on.
Are y'all able to see it? Hit 1 and 2.
2, they can't see the screen.
2 means y'all can't see it.
Let me. I'm gonna stop sharing and I'm gonna bring it back in.
Okay.
You know these things is kind of funny. Okay. All right, so let me go ahead. You might have to tinker with it because I remember last time you did something.
Yeah, and I can't even. Let me stop there. Okay.
I got it.
Let me.
Okay, it says right now, it says StreamYard.com is sharing your screen. Stop sharing, hide. Okay, so you should be able to get right there in. Oh, there you go. I just flipped to it. Yeah, y'all got it. Y'all got the screen.
Okay.
Put that one in the chat. Yeah, y'all see my screen. It should be a definition. It says country on the very front.
It says country, but it's still kind of blurry like.
Yeah. Oh, I see what's going on. It's going slow. Okay, because I'm looking at it on YouTube on my phone and it's like a 5-second delay. It's like a 5-second delay. Yeah. It's not on sync with YouTube. But it should say country on the top. I'm watching it from my phone to make sure that it's doing the same thing. But just go ahead and put the 1 in there. Y'all should be able to see that. I see 1s in there. Okay, it was good. Let's roll. All right. So we got country. A country in a nation. Okay, a country is a nation with its own government, occupying a particular territory. So that means, what is that? It's 3 things: a nation, a government, and territory. Those things make a country. Okay. So country is an essence. It's the essence of something that has more than one component. So a country is not just one thing. When people think a country is just people. No, a country is a land, a government, okay, and a nation. Okay, so what is a nation? What is a government? What is a territory? So we got some more. See, people think they know what this stuff means, but you really don't. Okay, that's why these officers stopping y'all, calling me, talking about y'all need traffic tickets, and y'all need child support and this and that, everything else, because y'all ain't claiming you're stable.
Do you got a fan blowing? Creek?
For me,
Yeah.
we got the AC on, but ain't no fan blowing it.
Oh, okay.
You know what? Hold on. It might be the YouTube. Let me turn it off on my phone.
Okay.
And, because it might be messing with the connection. Let me turn that off real quick. They have been messing with communication all day today. I wouldn't be surprised if one of our
yeah, they was doing it when I did my live on Facebook. They was messing with it. They was cutting me in and out. Everybody was saying.
Yeah, we got somebody on here that's good with tarots and astronomical things that can tell you there's probably something going on. Might be a retrograde or something. You know, I know people like that. I got a few people that tell me heads up. You know, hey, listen, you know, retrograde for those that a lot of people don't believe in that stuff, but it does have synonymous meanings to it. Yeah, because it still deals with energy, and we are a planet. We are energy. We are electric.
Just talk up louder, so I guess it'll kind of block it out in the background.
Okay, I'll go loud on it. Okay, a nation, a government, and a territory, all three make a country, okay? So let's go back to the drawing board, okay? Because we wanted to know what a country is, right? The definition of country. And there's three things that make up a country. Okay, so we're going to put some bullets right there. Okay, number one. All right. Put that right there like that. Well, it's not working with me today, but we're gonna work it out though. Country is a nation with its own government, we got a nation, we got a government, okay, and then we got occupying a particular territory. So we got land. These three things make a country. We said that. So that's a country right there. A country is a nation, okay, that has a government that occupies a territory. What is a nation? We ain't got to guess to get the definition done. Let's learn it together, man, so people can stop arguing. That's all I'm saying. You know, people start, oh man, a nation ain't what it means. Okay, well, look, we all got definitions right here. We're gonna read it all together and come on one agreement, and that's just what it is. A nation is a stable community of people formed on the basis of a common language. So a nation shares the same language. They share the same land. They have the same history, ethnicity to some degree, or ethnicity or ethnic group is a name, social category of people who identify with each other on the basis of shared attributes. So I tend to like collard greens and cornbread, you know what I mean? And I'm all the way in Indianapolis or Chicago. I go down to Mississippi, they're gonna eat the same thing I eat, or they cook on a pot of greens or collard greens or cornbread, black eyed peas, you know what I'm saying? And they look like me, and I pull up at the table, and we all talk about the same thing. Wouldn't that be synonymous to an ethnic group or a group of people that are that share the same attributes? Because that's what an attribute is, right? Something that comes from, right? It's a tribute to something, right? Okay. Let me see. The identities, shared attributes. Attributes provide additional information. Okay, tags defines a hyperlink. Okay, if you're talking about computers. Okay, example of attributes. An attribute is defined as a quality or characteristic of a person, place, or thing. Okay, so we share some of the same personal things. We some of the same places. My folks from Mississippi, your folks are from Mississippi, right? We've been some of the same things we do. We similar, or we laugh at the same type of thing. Our comedy is this type of comedy, or opposed to maybe Caucasians might like something a little bit more corny, or they might think the what we like is corny. It just depends, right? So attributes is something that attributes to, right? So that all these things make up a character. You know what I mean? The characteristics of a what? Person, place, thing. These things make up a character, right? So all the things that make up your characters would be anything that caters to would be an attribute. So I'm saying. So you got ice cream, but then you got strawberry. The strawberry is an attribute or attributes to the ice cream, and it makes it similar to vanilla, okay? Or we'll make it different, in color, but the essence of it will still be what, or the beginning part of it, or would be what, the substance would still be the same. The substance would be, the ice cream, or maybe 4 parts of it are the same and one is a little different, you know what I'm saying? But an attribute, I think you get the idea of what an attribute is. It's something that attributes or caters to, right? Okay, so that is distinguish them from other groups, okay? So we know that the pale skin, or what we consider to be Caucasian, is not going to be from our family group, period. Okay, he doesn't identify us as being the same. And we're definitely different. We don't, we share a social category to some degree, because we deal with each other on a business-like platform. But other than that, we go our separate ways when it's not talking about business. Okay, because our characteristics are so different. We tend to like something different from them, what keeps us apart or set apart from these people, right? Okay, so you say concept of racism and go on down. So that's pretty much what an ethnic group is. Okay, it's going to be, let's go back one. I think I skipped that. Okay, a nation is a stable community. So it's a group. Okay, a community is a social unit. Okay. Commonalities such as norms, religions, values, customs, identities. Communities may share a sense of place situated in a given geographical area or in a virtual space. Again, they keep talking about being in the same area. So that's one of the specifics that it comes to having a nation. A nation is always going to be in the same geography. Okay, it's going to be in the same area. It's going to have a territory, same lane, or the same language, or they communicate the same, or they're going to have attributes that attribute to something that's going to make them all one nation. Okay, so a nation is really a family, right? And if it's not, then let's look at nation, because what the thing is, we're building, right? So we want to build on what they're saying without having to read 1,000 pages to find out that nation is just a family, right? So let's just find out what they think, as far as the similarities to, or not similarities, but would be a synonym. We're actually a synonym, synonym, same thing. Let's go into Gmail here. Okay, so let's look up nation. Nation is a family, right? Let's see what it is. A nation, I know nation's gonna be more people than the family. The nation as family idea is closely related to citizenism. What is citizenism? Okay, it's similar to citizenism. So both of those two things are related to citizenism. Okay, citizenism. Okay, politics led by citizens. So right there it says politics. Okay, when we talk about politics, we're definitely talking about a government, right? Okay, what is politics? I bet you if I ask somebody in the chat right now, they're gonna give me a definition, but it's not gonna be the same as this right here. And I'm not shooting on nobody down. I'm just saying what we have been told or think that we know, or is not always going to be the same definition of what it is, right? Because a lot of times we've been taught through word of mouth. Even a teacher won't break down word for word. They're not going to use the etymology book in the Black Law Dictionary. They're just going to tell you what this means and what they want you to say it is, and then build on the understanding. But alongside of that, they're not going to stop over every word to define it. And we haven't had that type of lesson. We haven't taught like that. We're not taught to define words. They define those for us, and we take it in consideration or take it for face value, and then we run with it. And that's what needs to stop. When you have private schools, okay, private classes, they don't do that, okay? I know that my sister was, not me, but my sister went to a private school, and this is some of the lessons that she got and some of the teachings she had, which would make her a little bit more of a critical thinker compared to something that would be a mainstream or a public school, which doesn't do hardly any critical analysis ever. Okay, they're just going to train you or they're going to program you how to think, and that's just basically how they go. But when we talk about politics, we're talking about government. Okay, and the definition of politics, get a solid definition of what politics is. Then we're going to go back to citizenship and see how it relates to the two things that function different, but they're the same thing: nation and family. Okay, I'm going to keep us on point, but we got to be able to build up and understand. I'm trying to take us all to get in so we can get to the punchline, and then we can get to the meat of it, right? Okay, so we're going to feast on these side parts first, and then get into the meat part. Okay. No, I'm talking about him. No, okay, politics. Okay, politics. Politicism. Well, politicism, anything that ism is going to be a part of. Okay, so we know that. So, like, we can look up politics. I'm going to do the etymology on it, too. It takes longer to do the etymology first, word for word. So I'm going to go through the whole thing and do the parts that matter. And then you can kind of do your own due diligence. But I just want to set apart from what we think nationality is. We're going to get back into that and then see what we need to do to gravitate as a nation of people, to come together as a family and put on record a nationality or a commonality. Commonality means that we know we got more than one Indian group. You know that, right? Okay, but we all have something in common, right? And it's funny how when they talk about Indians, they say the 5 civilized tribes, okay? And then they say how they're all related because when we go back far enough, we know that all these nations together were one people. We really are one people, okay? What came first, the chicken or the egg? It don't matter. We all came from the chicken. The chicken had buried the egg, and we all came from that. We came from different regions, and some of us, we got. 1,000 years later, these people was over here, this is over there, you know what I'm saying? They called themselves something different, they called themselves something different, and in the course of time, they travel back and forth. Some laid some seeds over here, some laid seeds some over here, so we still family, right? We know that. Now, some of us have more of a distinctive attribute than some of the others. Some of us might be a little darker, some of us might be a little lighter, meaning that you took on more of an identity or more of a variation that somebody else may take a more variation. You know what I'm saying? Like you got some people that have African ancestry. You got some of them that are Indian and both Indian and African ancestry. And then you have some people that would claim to not have any African ancestry. You know what I'm saying? That would have more Indian attributes, if you will. You know what I'm saying? And would be less African. You know what I'm saying? But once you put it all together, if I'm kin to somebody that's African, but I don't have any African, and then we have a mutual cousin, okay? And that mutual cousin is both. The cousin that we have is mutual. We have African on one side, Indian on one side, and in the middle we got an admixture. We got one that's an Indian and a African put together. Wouldn't that make those two Indian and the African distant cousins still? Because they have a common relative that's together, okay? How can you have one that's going to claim something and then the other two not have an identity or something they share? Of course they're going to be relatives. And even if it's distance, it would still be considered to be a family of sort through a connection or another or a race that's connected, right? Through an admixture. So you got some people that would disagree with that because, I'm not white, but I have relatives that are mixed, right? So even though I don't, the seed that's bear from me being an original, okay, from here on out would have a particular piece of white or white gene in it, right, or him, and then from there on out, you have the two that come together. So you can go on and on and on with that to conclude to say some people would consider us to be full-blooded Aboriginal. I don't think that there's any full-blooded anything, and if it is, you might have something where you have a less of, Okay, where you have somewhere, you know, they have like 85 and 15 parts of this, and then 85% that, or maybe even 90%, you know, and then maybe 10% this or whatever. Because, you know, we go with some of the private genealogies, okay, and some of our brothers and sisters have tapped into those places and are coming back and giving these tests and coming back and basically saying that they're Native American, basically, clearly saying that they're Indian. Okay, and I mean they black as 3 midnights, and they go in these private places, and they're saying that, the results are coming back saying that there are 85. I've seen 75, and it just depends. 75 to 85% primarily Indian ancestry, and then they'll have another 15 or 25% would be Caucasian. But then you look in the mirror all day, you black as 3 midnights, and you'll swear up and down you ain't got no Caucasian. Okay, so it don't really go like that. But when we talk about politics and bloodlines, uh, they're very similar, and I don't want to take this to a whole other thing. But you have people already now that are simulating to be American Indian, and they don't even look like us, okay? And they don't have the same blood as us. So, you know, nationality doesn't always have to pertain to blood. A lot of people will argue that, but I just proved that right there, because you got white people now claiming to be American Indian, okay? And they don't have, as far as blood quantities go, they might have 5% or less than the amount of required blood that they need to have in order to be Indian, but because they show it on a documentation, okay, and they already have inherited, some of the takings of somebody that was, or the inheritance of somebody that is American Indian. Okay, so but when you're dealing with politics, okay, it's very similar to politics is very similar to the rules and regulation of a country. Okay, they're just separate. One being a member, another one being a citizen, one being a country, and another one being a corporation. Okay, politics is a set of activities that are associated with making decisions in groups or other forms of power relations between individuals, such as distributions. Okay, so it's basically a set of activities. It's things that you put together, right? Activities are things that make up components, right? You put together a bunch of things, let me see. Uh, let me see. Activities would be. Let me see a good similarity for activities. Activities would be the functions, day-to-day functions. You know, another word of activities. Let me see. Paraphrasing it, I would say functions, activities, or day-to-day duties. Okay, so I'm just kind of spot checking on that for people that like to fact check. Okay, so that's activities. So basically, that's what political rules. So uh, they put things in place of their citizens, which would be daily functions, right? It's how a government functions, okay, would be deemed from different activities they put together. Okay. Now we go to citizenism. These activities were put together by citizens, which you just said that, okay, or based on or around citizenship. Okay. So politics is something that you do. Okay, it's activities. Okay. Citizenism, uncountable. Okay. So the etymology edit. Okay, we took the edit out of that, the etymology. Okay. And we're about to jump into some etymology in a minute, but I want to get a firm definition of citizenism. Okay, and we can just do that just by looking up citizen. That's the definition of a position or status of being a citizen of a particular country. So it's a member. Basically, let's look up what their definition of citizen is. And I'm gonna get the Google definition for that. What does citizen mean? People ask. And this is going to be dictionary.com if I'm not mistaken. Nope, Citizen Watch Global. I would like to look at the source, where it's coming from. What does citizen mean? It's a noun. It's a person, place, or thing, a noun. A native or naturalized member of a state or nation who owes allegiance to its government and is entitled to its protections. Distinguished from alien. An alien is going to be foreign, okay? An inhabitant of a city or town, especially one entitled to its privileges or franchises, okay, which would be businesses. An inhabitant, somebody that stays, you dwell there, you domicile. Or denizen, which would be the noun, to come from, to occupy. The deer is a citizen of our woods, and we're just using a example. So basically, a citizen is a person, okay? A native or naturalized member. So you can be naturalized and be a what? Member of a state. It says or, so that means it's two things. It's a native, okay? Right there, it just says a native or. Now, we don't have to study what or is. A lot of us already graduated from high school. We know that or separates two sentences, okay? And it gives you a differentiate or differentiate something from something else to say that it's similar or the same or different, okay? Well, that's what or is. We're not going to go there. I'm going to do a whole 30 minutes on what or is. Okay, a native or a naturalized member of the state. Or, they go to the word again. So it's three things. Or a nation who owes allegiance to its government. Okay, so let's stop right there because we were looking for the word nation. And it says a citizen is a nation. Okay, now let's go back to the word nation. It says a nation is a stable community. So let's go back to what they said, a stable community. Now let's see if that even fits. So a stable community who owes allegiance. So basically a group of people. That's what it's saying. A nation is a group of people. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, members are a group of people. That's what it is. And native is synonymous. I mean, it's synonymous, but it's singular. And native is a member. A member is singular. Members with an S would be plural, meaning say more than one. So a native can be a citizen. Citizen in a plural speculative would be plural as a native or natives with an S. So, and I like to clear that up because some people will stop there and say, hey, it said a native, so one person is a nation. No, one person is not a nation. That's why I said or. It didn't say and. Okay? So that's why we studying. That's what I'm saying. Let's study and look at this. Because people will say, no. A nation is a person is a nation. I can hear somebody saying that right now. They're swearing to it, right? That's not what it is. It says or a nation. So a group of people or one person could be considered a citizen. Now, when you talk about a group of people come together, okay, are citizens with an S. That's it. Okay? But a nation is not a native. Okay? A nation belongs to a nation. A native is a nation when it's in the plural sense. But if it's singular, meaning to say one individual, then it's going to give notation to a native person. A person, a native of what? Of where you're from. So basically, what they're saying is, if you can read between the lines, they're saying a native is a member, or a member is a nation. If it's a conglomerate of, if it's more than one member, then it would be a nation. Okay, so then it upgrades. So a native and a member meaning belonging to, a native is a person that belongs to something that a native of a land. When it talks about a land, a geography, because we just said right here, a nation, right? It's all similarity, but they all have their own definition. Okay, but we got to be able to pick it what each one of these words mean, because all of them can take a new name. Now, when you talk about native, you're talking about an individual. It doesn't refer to a nation, because a nation is more than one. Now, when we talk about a native or natives with an S, now it does refer to a nation, because a nation gives credence to more than one. Native denotes to one, so one is individual, but it doesn't separate a native from belonging to a nation. It's just that a nation, in the essence of what it means more than one. A nation is a group of people, right? We've already seen that. Go to notes over here, right? Now we stopped at nation, but let's go back in, because now we already got a definition of what citizen is. Okay, And a citizen is a native, a member of a state, okay? All these are citizens. So citizen is basically belongs to something. It can belong to a state or it can belong to a country. That's what they're saying. A nation who have allegiance to its government is entitled to its protections. Boom. An inhabitant of a city or a town, or especially one of the entitlement privileges, or an inhabitant of, all that is a citizen. A citizen. Somebody that belongs to something that gives allegiance to. So it can belong to a government. A citizen is somebody or a member of a government or a member of a country. That's what they're telling you, right? But in being specific, when we talk about civics now, we talk about law. Okay, law will have a specific definition as to what it is. Okay, so we know that a nation, right here, let's look up citizen. It's an individual, is a native or naturalized member of the state, or it is I'll put a native or naturalized member of the state who owes allegiance to its government and entitlements and so forth and so forth. Okay, so that's a nation right there. Okay. We don't have to argue with nobody. Because I've heard people say that a nation was a thing, or it's a party or body was doing the same thing. No, but that's not in the singular context, not in the single context. We're talking about in the singular, we're talking about one person that belongs to or belongs to a nation. Okay, so a person individually is not a nation. A person individually belongs to a nation, or a person that's individually will belong to, will belong to a nation. Okay, and a nation will have a nationality. Together would be considered nationality for that one person. That one person is going to take on the identity of his nation. Sin. Okay? So the one person. So so basically but you got to have land to do all that. It's like saying you're going to eat a pizza without a crust. How can you eat a pizza with no crust? You got to have land, you got to have something with its own, a foundation. Okay? So we already know a nationality gives credence to a land. Period. We just read all that. I got to read it all to try to put it together now. I mean, y'all got to do some due diligence. And if you read along with me, then you'll see where, all three of those components have to have a land. We already seen what a country is what? A country together is a nation or a native, or it can donate to a person if you talk about a person. Okay, it's a native. So in the individual form, a nation in an individual form of one is a native. Okay, a native can belong to a nation as a citizen, or it would consider to be a citizen or a native, but what these people have did is blurred the lines between citizen and a native. Okay, and these people are saying they're citizens of a corporation that's considered to be the United States. So the United States designates the land. So because it occupies the land of America, they would be considered to be American. But it still doesn't make them American Indian. Okay, still doesn't make them American Indian. Okay, because they are designating the land of something. Okay, y'all see where I'm going with it now. See, I told you I'm going to show you the big picture. Because these people are on your land, but they're not you. They're not you. So how is it that you have to pay homage to somebody on your land with your estate, okay, and ration it out in a way where it restricts you, okay, to rules and different guidelines, okay, that encompasses you to certain things, and it makes it so that you have to deliver and give a performance to certain things, right? In their case, rules and regulations. You have to go by or abide by certain laws, certain rules of the game, okay? And these rules of law, okay, are going to be what we consider to be different functions or activities, which would donate to political substance or some type of political activity that are given or awarded to citizens outside a member of a state or a member of a city or somebody that belongs to a nation. Okay, a nation designating a land, part of a government, and a territory. That all makes up a country. Okay, so a country is three things: a native, okay, a person, a member, okay, so a native and a member, okay, is synonymous, is a nation, but together it's a conglomerate. A nation is a group of people, okay, So we already talked about some of that. I'm not gonna keep going over that, okay? Because I think I buried that in the ground enough for people to know that, to get that. But I don't like for people to go confused, so I like to explain that. A government works for the people. Okay, let's see that. Let's go get a definition to what government is, because once we build up this graph, we'll be able to take the definitions of everything we got here, and then somebody can come behind you and say, "Oh, that's not what I heard." No, it's not about what you heard. We already did all the fact check. We did the cross examine. That's what all this is up here. I'm fact checking. Okay, I'm using the Wikipedia sources. Okay, and we're gonna hit the etymology and the law up there in just a minute. Let's get all the components of the pieces of the puzzle first. Okay, going into the next part. So we got government and territory. I'm gonna speed up a little bit. I know people are like, come on, let's hurry up and get to the good part. Let's get all the definitions down first so we can understand what we're talking about. All right, because if not, we're gonna be arguing. So we need to get a clear definition that we all can agree on. Okay, so a government. What is a government? Okay, I see people putting certain stuff in the chat here. I just looked on the chat. Okay, that doesn't look like anything in reference. But I'm just looking to see if anybody can show me what it is, or tell me what it is. Because I know you got thumb down people on here. They like the thumb down videos and so forth. But I mean, they're not adding to the chat. They're not adding to anything. They just hate. That to me is just hating. If you can't build up and construct a person without giving them correctivism with the criticism by itself is just hating. Just call it what it is, right? I mean, I like to construct and give people corrective criticism, right? I'll just correct you on what you're wrong at. So when you was wrong at, and if I'm wrong, let's come up with a mutual understanding, right? Okay, because we don't have to guess no more. Guessing and arguing is really for dummies. We don't have to do all that. You know what I mean? When all the answers has already been here. They're already here for us. Okay, so let's agree. A government is the system. Okay, right there, just told you what a system is, right there. See, people will just read a system of a group of people, and then I ask them, what is government? Oh, it's a group of people. No, it's a system, right there. Boom, it's just said right there. Is the system. Or, they go the word area, is separating it, so it's a system. Number one, when you look on an ingredients on a box and it says macaroni and cheese, it's going to be what? Pasta. Or it's going to say water. The most biggest, the number one ingredients, or the most of any ingredients, is going to be the first thing. The second to the most thing is going to be the second, or third, or anything that's enumerated from one all the way down. Boom. It's going to be the same thing with the definitions. Why? Because we deal with simplicity. We like to simplify things, and we deal with common sense. And most commonly, it's going to be set up to be like that, so everything could be up under one way where it could fit, or the dynamics is going to be the same everywhere you go. It's like when you go from here to Switzerland or whatever, and I drive my truck, you know what I mean? The clearance is always going to be the same everywhere, right? Okay, so the dynamics is going to be the same, right? Okay, so we use the same dynamics to say a government is a system, okay? So a system, what is a system? So let's understand what a system is first, because how white folks throw a word out there real quick and then give you 20 definitions to what it is and have everybody out there argue. So let's go out there and say, government is a system. So what do you mean when you say a system? A system is a group of interacting or interrelating entities that form a unified whole. If that ain't a damn good definition, I don't know what that is, okay? And we in Wikipedia again, right? Let's just keep it Wikipedia. Wikipedia has sources, y'all. For those who disagree, let's click the link. I see we already get these people gonna start hating and start lying and start hating and talking about it ain't true and all that, this and then, because they wanted to be what they think it is, right? So we already got sources down there right there. You got the etymology right there. The term system comes from Latin word, and we know it's going to be sestimia, right? Sestimia. Okay, I don't have a Greek tongue, so I'm gonna butcher it up a little bit because I have the English tongue, and the way I say it's gonna be that type of way. Okay, but it's sestimia. Okay, is in turn from Greek. Okay, a whole concept made of several parts or members, system, literally. Okay, composition. Okay, you hit the 2 right here. Right there, it says Henry George Little, Robert Scott, a Greek English lexicon. Okay, a Greek English lexicon. often referred to as, okay, got the names there, is a standard lexicographical work of the ancient Greek language. Okay, so this is somebody that sounds like a linguistic. Okay, and he's going to tell you where the word comes from. So there you go. There's a source of some of the information right there. So the person that put that in there gave you a source. So do your due diligence. We ain't got to argue about etymology because we just broke it down already right there, right? Now, another name for the word system and where it came from, the original, okay, which is Greek. But it's in the Latin, okay? It's in Latin. A system is a group of interacting or related entities. Okay, so we're just looking at the source there. We're not going to go all the way into that. I just want to see where you can click a source. People will doubt it in a minute, say it's not true. So we're going to use that definition right there for what a government is. Because when we go back to government, it's pretty much going to tell you the same thing, right? Look up the word government. A government is a system or a group of people governing an organized community, okay, often a state, but also other entities, for example, what? Company, boom. I didn't say it. Please don't say Creek Running Water said it, okay? We in Wikipedia and we use the sources. Sources at the bottom. Do your due diligence, look it up. You listen, you can go all the way in on one word. Okay, we can go all the way in on one word, where it came from, where it's mostly used at, the term, the definition of where it came from, the maps, all of it's right there. We ain't got to argue. Okay, we're not going to stay too long on that because we're talking about nationalities. We try to go somewhere with the definition, but we're going to pick up words and similarities all together and show where it all comes together to mean one thing, because nationality doesn't mean just one thing, okay? Nationality is a component of different things that come together. It really is a nation of people that run up under a government or a tribe, okay, that work together on their own land. That's what a nationality is, okay? For those who just want to hear that so they can get off and go do something else. That's what a nationality is. Now, you want to see the remedy, because a black doesn't have a country. Okay, black doesn't have standing at law, doesn't have a status, okay? Black runs under Negro codes, and it has benefit programs, okay, and privileges, but it does not have rights to law, because the word black itself means dark, gloomy, dead, and death, okay? Doesn't donate to a race of people at all. It only donates to a race of people when it's coming from the person who created it, okay? The person created it so he can use it any way he wants to, and the people that are using it and functioning in their day-to-day life are using it the way he's telling you to use it, okay? That's it. So when you want to say slave or slave master, your master is basically telling you that you're black, okay? And he's giving you a brand. He made you black. Black doesn't even go back more than 200 years. Okay, when you go back to 1806, it didn't say anything about nobody being black, huh? Okay, the word black wasn't even used in that context, huh? Black is just the absence of something. So how can you be the absence of something, but then be in existence, huh? Answer all those things before we go into how black is a status and a standing, or it donates to a land or a nationality. Because they're saying you came from the Sahara Desert, okay, somewhere lost in the middle of Africa somewhere, okay, and they don't even have a government. I mean, we know that the Sahara Desert is designated now, but when you go back to 200-300 years or 400 years in their account, they're telling you 400 years ago you came from there. You go back there, wasn't nothing there 400 years, nothing, okay? Nobody's being responsible or taking responsibility for saying that they were the ones that sold you into slavery. So you don't even have a person that sold you into slavery. Ghana just telling you to come back home, but come back home don't mean that. Come back home is just an offer, okay? That's still that, oh, they told us come back home, so we must be from there. No, that ain't what that means. Check out what the word black is. Listen to what they're calling you. They're calling you something that don't even exist, okay? How can you have a land when you don't exist? Capitalized too. What is black? Black, Wikipedia, darker color. Of course, they're gonna say. I'm going to tell you right now. They're gonna tell you that it belongs to the Negro race from Africa. They're gonna tell you that. Okay, but I just told you. Answer those questions. Who is responsible for selling you into slavery? Who is the group of people in the Sahara deserts or outside of Ghana and some of those places over there, because that's where it's at? Who are those people that sold you into slavery? Who? We know that the boats come off the dock, okay, because the water pulls in the port, and Ghana's right there, okay? It's right there. But it's not the only place. You got Guinea, you got a bunch of other places right there, okay? So 1 million people came from where? They said you was from the Sahara and not Ghana, because there's no records of any of y'all being from Ghana, and they'd have to perpetrate a lot of fraud and indoctrinate a whole bunch of fake doctrine, okay, to do all that. And if we catch them doing that, then they can land up in prison for doing that, and that's not something they want to do. They don't want the liability of fraud, and then have to go to jail because one of them then already investigated to find out all this doctrine, this documentation that they did was created, and it was made, and these are exhibits that bring up exhibits that try to give credence to what they're telling you, okay, or try to validate validate what they're trying to say. So they'll go out and make artifacts just to validate what they're trying to tell you, all right? And we know that is not true. Black is the darkest of color, okay? So now they made it a part of the color scan, but black doesn't exist, okay? That's when we're supposed to go to our online dictionary here, okay, and then look at our Black Law's dictionary. I don't know what happened here. I don't think I brought up the Black Laws, but we can look up the Black Laws. If somebody got it in the chat, they can throw it in the chat. That's cool. Do that. Let's work together. Let's work together to get what we need to get together, man. Black Laws Dictionary, 5th edition. Because I know they got one online, and someone or another, they kind of misdirected me to somewhere else, which is taking me outside of time I didn't want to have to use. Black Law Dictionary, PDF, Black Law Dictionary, Dictionary. It usually just comes straight up. I don't know what's going on right now. Okay, 2nd edition here. If you got black, National Black, the LJ, the law.com, Black Laws Dictionary, 2nd edition. Let's read more on that. Black Axe, Black Rod, gentleman user of. Okay, well that's they're giving you a legal term of what black is, but it's not giving no name to a person. This is the law.com dictionary. I like this dictionary too, but that's not what I was looking for. I'm looking for all our dog. I know they got the PDF, and we'll see if we can get the B's up on the pocket dictionary so we can get a solid definition of black. Let's let me download it. I ain't never had as much trouble finding the Black Laws Dictionary PDF download free. I got a hard book Black Laws Dictionary, so I hardly use the one online, but I remember using it before, and I don't remember it being hidden like this. But again, we just talked about Google and how they like to blacklist searches, and I'm not going to waste time on that. Okay, if you want to continue to call yourself black because you disagree with what I said and you just keep right head on, call yourself black, a color. That's what you said, a color anyway. Still didn't say a race of people, said a color. So let's use Wikipedia's version of what black is. I think we're getting close now. They're going to give you black. Okay, Black's Law Dictionary, free, black law, black. Definition of black. what is the definition of black, guy? All right. Okay. Of the very darkest color, owing to the absence of a complete absorption of light. So they say right there, absence. Okay. Saying it's not there. Absent means it's not there. So it's owing to the absence, something that's gone, of a complete absorption of light. So there's no light there. Light is the truth. We already know that. It says absence of light. So there ain't no truth in you. The opposite of white. So it's the opposite of white. Black smoke. Pitch black. Dark. Pitch black. Yourself black color. So you said a color anyway.
Chica Harmony posted it in the chat.
So let's use Wikipedia's version of what black is.
Chica Harmony posted it in the chat.
Posted it, but there's something wrong with the audio over here. Mosquito. So as I said black, I just lost audio. Oh, they really messing with this live today. Yeah, I have to apologize. You know, it's not my fault, but you know, we definitely we gonna keep it moving either way it goes. Yeah, we gonna drop this because they've been messing with me all day today. Okay, it looks like we still on here. I don't know what happened there. I just lost. I was talking and lost communication. Now it's asking me to download a browser. Okay, this is crazy. Okay, so basically dark going, but we got the online of black. So let's go ahead and do the etymology on black. Skip on that because Wikipedia is just pretty much giving you a roundabout. And then white folks, you know how they talk. They always like to talk around liability. They talk in a way where they're not getting themselves trapped up by saying, "Hey, you said." No, I didn't say. I said owing to the absence of a complete. Come on, man. Nobody talk like that. That's Socrates. You know what I mean? And then somebody is trying to talk around something to give you a clear, concise definition, right? Right here. Right here. I need your hands. Of the darkest color owing to the absence of a complete absorption of light. So there's no light, the opposite of white. Okay. Then you put in the etymology here. Okay. Black. Black, the Old English black. Absolutely dark, absorbing all light, the color of soot or coal. Okay, so from Forward-Germanic, blacks burn, also source also of Old Norse, black, dark, Old High German black, Swedish black, ink. Okay, from pie or to burn, gleam, shine, flash. Source also of Greek philology, to burn, scorch, Latin philari, to blaze, dull, burn, from root, bear. Okay, to shine, flash, burn. So let's go ahead and click that. It says the root right there, and it got a key to it. So let's look at this right here. Behel, Proto Indo-European, root meaning to shine, burn, also shining white. So now they're saying white is black, black is white, shining white. But they put that in quotes. Okay, so quotes means as to say something. What is shining white? Shining white. Okay. So now they're giving you images of shining white. So white is coming from you got the white that's abstracting from the black. Let's say that the white is coming from black, basically, right? You got something that's coming out of black. Black is the absence of, and white is coming from the absence. Okay. I mean, if you want to take verbatim, that's what they're saying, right? So black is not a part of a nationality. Black, okay, it didn't say anything about a people. It didn't say anything about a race of people. Nothing. Not nothing only said a race of people. Nothing. Okay. Nothing. Now, I know you probably can't find a definition here that'll say, "Oh, race of people." There's, they'll say that, but for the most part, when you do the etymology, you need to donate to a race of people. It just tells you what it is. It's giving you a color. It says, that it comes from something that's the absence of. It's nothing, basically. It don't exist. It's nothing. You can't see it. You can't close your eyes. It's nothing. Nothing is black. They created black. The thing is, you're not black. You are brown. If you ever stop to think about it and look at your skin one day without listening to people let them confuse your mind, you actually look at your skin. Your skin really is not black. It's brown. Okay, so you're not black. So why are you claiming to be something that you're not? That's number one right there. When we just looked up the definition, and none of this said brown skin. None of this is black. Brown and black is not the same thing. Okay, it's not. They're gonna say Mexican people or something like that, right? The brown is leading research, home something. So they're giving you a bunch of colors of brown. Okay, about brown university. Of course, they ain't gonna give you a definition of brown. How come black has a definition but brown don't? Black means something, but brown don't. Brown is what brown is, right? What black is what black is, but black got extra stuff to it. It's gloomy, it's dead, it's death, it's absence of, But then they call you black, but then your skin is brown. Think about it. Think about it. Okay. Let's put in brown. Old English, brun, dark, dusky, developing a definite color sense only, 13C. Okay, so that was the 13th century. So they start playing this color game. See right there, it says 13C. I think it would be interesting to figure out. Let me see something real quick, guys. Because they try to say brown started in 13C, which I didn't know that, but I know the classification system started around that time. We're talking about it. Thirteenth century Maya Codex, long shrouded in controversy. Okay, so within the 13th century, they had the Mayan Codex, which was popular, but also at the same time, they're talking about brown was created around that time. Okay, I bet you if we go in, we can find some similarities as to what they called brown people and why they dropped the brown and gave you black. Okay, and that'd be interesting, but that's not what the build is about. But you see how you can really go into something and see certain other things start to pop up. Just even talking about one thing and making it a subject. Okay, you see where it's giving you a total different image from what black is, but they're telling you black, but you look at the skin, you're brown. And then you just listen to these folks and keep listening, and you get so indulged in what they're saying that you forget that you're brown. And then start arguing with people telling you you're black and you're proud. And forget to even look down at your skin to see that they lying, you're not black and that you're brown. Imagine that, right? Imagine how people are really doing this, right? And the majority of people are doing this, right? Majority of people stuck being black and going back to Africa. No proof, no stories to show. We kind of burden of proof to say that we're from there. So we got the definitions of black. We're going to leave the law dictionary up there. Now we're going to go into finish up the definition of territory. We got the one for government. Okay. I think that's still in my clipboard, but let's go put in system of group of people, governing an organized community or state, but also of other entities or examples. For example, a company. So they say, oh, for example, a company. When we mean for an example, are you meaning a company? Like they try to throw for an example out there to kind of throw you off. as to say that they're just going to give you an example of something other than know what they're doing, but it is what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Um, Again, that's wordplay. It's semantics at its best. People are real good at that. They love it. Okay. Okay, so we got that's what a government is. System or group of people governing an organized community, often a state, okay, but also other entities. For an example, a company. So a government is a company. A government is an entity. A government is a system of components, a bunch of things that come together to make up one group of something, okay? But they're not a nation, okay? They're not a state. The people itself is the nation. The government works with the nation. Got it? Let's keep it moving. Don't forget it. A government is not the nation. The people together are a nation. A person is a native. A collective of people are a member or can be considered citizens of a state, or it says or a nation who owes allegiance to its government, right? Okay, so it just said right here, it said a state, and then up here it says a state, but then down here it says also a nation, and down here it says other entities such as a company. Government is a company. Government is not a nation. Government is a component of people or things to put together that is a system. A government is a system or group of people. That's what. So a government could be a what? A machine. It's part of the government. When they stamp some of their equipment, they say, yeah, that's government property right there. And they'll lock you up for touching it, tearing it up, or misusing it. That's part of the government. It's part of their system, right? So it doesn't always have to be a person, okay? A person or a thing. Or, a person is synonymous, okay, to a corporation. And we already know that from the last lesson. Showed that, okay? A system or group of people governing an organized community, often a state. Okay, so it's often a state. So a state is really a government. Okay, but also other entities. So other entities could be a state too. So bold that because if it's a state, they're basically saying the state is the government or a company. So state is a company because it works up under a community and is organized, okay, and it has a system. Anything that deals with a system, okay, system that puts together a corporation that deals with activities for people is going to be a government. And a government is synonymous to a company. That's it. That's what they tell me right there. Okay. So they're trying to blur the lines between a country and a corporation, but they tell them they similar. It says right here, it says, but also. That's what you need. I'm gonna underline that. Because somebody has skipped right over there and said, no, it said it's the same thing. No, it didn't say the same thing. It said, but also other entities. For an example, a company. So a company could be a government. Okay, referring to a system. And right there it says the state is a government. Okay. A system is a collective of people that put together that make a governing that's organized, the people that govern or watch over an organized community. So people that watch over people, basically. Okay? It says people governing right there. People governing an organized community. An organized community is a nation. We already seen that up there. We see citizens, a nation. You know what I'm saying? A nation is a stable community, right? Organized community, organized and being stable. Okay, organized. Okay, so far we building, because y'all starting to see what it is though, right? And a territory. These things make up a country. Territory. What's territory? You know, a territory is an administration division. What is an administrative division? An administrative division, unity, coming together, entity, be anything or be something that represents. An entity is a thing, okay? An entity, corporation, okay? Area, place, or region, a bigger region, a bigger area. Also referred to as a subnational entity. Subnational is something that's up under, okay, and national, subnational, nationality would be a nationality up under a nationality, okay? So it's a nationality, but it gives credence to an entity. So they're giving you a bunch of words and similes. This is semantics. Why aren't y'all just giving it and explaining to us what an administrative division is? And I just looked up territory. Territory to me, if you're talking about land, means an area. Now I'm talking about all this other stuff that none of y'all can understand this, right? Constituent unit or a country subdivision is a portion of a country or other region delineated from the purpose of administration. I just told you right there what my definition of the United States is administration. I just told y'all that. Administration is somebody that's a secretary. We administer on behalf of. We do stuff for these people. We work for them. We do this for administration. Somebody has read all this ahead of time and meticulously, precisely, and with precision use these definitions, okay, without trying to give you a clear meaning, but giving you enough words to fulfill the definition where they won't have to just tell you, you can just figure it out. And then we want to blame it upon you figuring it out. We want to throw some other distractions in there to give you some other little fillers as to what it is. But when it comes to us, what does it refer to when we say territory on this land? Give us one definition, right? That's what we want. So let's keep reading because they're gonna tell you the truth, right? Okay, well, we got to read through all the fluff to get there, right? So a territory is an administrative division, which is a government. A territory, what they're trying to say is territory is DC, okay, which is a federal government, and a feudal system that works under feudalism, okay, which means that they're in exchange for a military for the purpose of people and their work, which is a product and a service, okay? We've already talked about that last week on last Sunday's Giving. So that's what it is, okay? That's what they're telling you what it is. That's their definition of territory, okay? But it says right here, territory redirects here. Territory may also refer to what? Military reserve forces. So a territory is a military reserve force? Now, well, come on. Now, wait a minute. Now, come on now. We thought it was a landscape, right? They telling us also for it's an administrative division, and it may refer to a military reserve force. So what is really territory, right? What is the etymology of territory? Okay, so let's go to the essence of what territory is, because they're confusing the hell out of me, right? So let's go right here. Not really, they ain't really confusing me. I'm just telling the story, y'all. I already know. I'm trying to give y'all a big picture, so I know what it is. If I take 2 seconds to drop this whole thing and tell you what it is, I don't think I'm crazy. So I could have told you from the beginning that we up under a federal territory, okay? That's a land on top of a land. And that's basically what they said right here. It's a land on top of a land. We created something imaginary, which works in the word of de facto, okay? And a de facto state, okay, that's the opposite of what de jure is, okay? It's not the same thing, okay? One is imaginary and not real, but if you accept it as being real, so it becomes a part of reality. But the other one is real, but it's dormant. But see, the thing is, because it's real, it is superior to the other one. We got to be able to function or use that as the source of where everything comes from. But we just don't, even though it's right there in front of their face, we make it out of their reach to do it. Because they don't want freedom. They want a de facto life that's synthetic and not real quick, push-butt society, and it's done. They don't want to have to grow their own food and wait and go out there and have to harvest and stuff and till the land and do all that. They'd rather just go in the supermarket and have the orange and the apples already done. That's what they'd rather have. They'd rather deal with an administration that deals with a territory, right? They don't want to tell you about a land and a land mass and a native of people and what these people looked like, and then they were brown, okay, and they were here, and in a certain part of time in the 13C, or whether it was 13 or 14C, that designated or inhabited this land, there was a race of people that had attributes that are all the same, you know what I'm saying, that was here before them. Now, we put all the definition, we'd have read a whole lot of things. You should be able to read between the lines by now. Okay, that we have two things that operate on one thing that are similar in fact, but one of them is fiction and the other one is non-fiction. You are dealing with a smoking mirror, dual polarity, black and white, checkerboard society. That's what you're dealing with. Okay, and they're giving you the option to pick which one you want, but along the way, they're gonna kick you in the butt and make you go one way without having to give you the other way, right? They're going to give you a distraction. They're going to give you diversions. They're going to show you which one is hype and better and faster. With the other one, it's nothing there. It's raw. You have to put it together and you have to do all the thinking. So which one do y'all want? Okay? Because a nationality is for those who are not a citizen or belong to a corporation, right? Now, what these people are doing in de facto is they're claiming both things. They're claiming to be Germany, but when white folks tell you, they say, I'm white. But then when you say, what is your nationality? Ask next time you go to work and ask one of these white folks and say, listen, what's your nationality? They'll say, my mother and my grandfather was German. So you are what your grandmother and your grandfather was. What did your grandma tell you was? Indian. Okay, so how come that it can't apply to you? Huh? You see how these people got y'all duped thinking something? Right? And this is your land. It's not their land. They claiming a territory. That's all. They carry parts. Territory is what? Now you got colonies, you got territories, okay? Okay, and these two things are donate to a corporation or they donate to a government. A government or a federal territory regulates the colonies. Colonies are something that was given, right? Territory was seized. Okay? So I know we're going on time, but I want to try to clip some of the time up, and then we save some of this for Q&A. But that's just basically what it is. Now, when we talk about nationality, and nationality belongs to a land. How can we designate the same land, have all the same attributes? Some of us are Moors, but in Chickasaws, and then you look at your lineage, you ain't got no Moorish American in there. You are Moor because you are a member of a religious organization, okay, and you're a member of that organization. Now, depending on how that organization is organized, okay, you would be considered a citizen. So if you're putting together a trust, a business that operates in a trust format, and you have a board of directors, you got trustees, you got beneficiaries to the trust, so forth and so forth. Now it's taken where a trust is very similar in function to what a country is, but it's organized. That's it. It refers to members, okay, depending on how you have it structured. You got Indians that are all one and the same, and then you have that would consider to be a nation because they all carry the same attributes. And then you have what's considered to be clans, which is mixed Indian groups. They all came together, like the Creek Nation. Creek Nation is a group of a band of different Indians up under the Muskogees, right? Go to Wikipedia. Where's the Creek Nation? Wikipedia. Muskogee Creek Nation. Let's go there. Muskogee Creek Nation is a federally recognized Native American tribe based in the United States of Oklahoma. The nation descends from the historical Creek Federation, a large group of indigenous peoples of the what? Boy, y'all keep popping this stuff, keep popping up every time. Peoples of the southeastern woodlands. Okay, the southeastern woodlands. Culture of the South Indians are ethnographic classification for the Native Americans who have traditionally inhabited the area, now part of the southeastern United States. Okay, includes Muskogee, right there. See, Okay, language of the Tasayati, Tasayati. And I know I'll butcher the names up. I'm not good at pronunciations. That I always say in the way they spell. Okay, and these are some of the Indian tribes over here. Okay, let you read that right there for yourself. Okay, okay, that's all part of the Creek Nation right there. So it wasn't just one. They all came together as one nation under a confederacy. Okay, and that confederacy was organized, was considered to be the government at that time. Okay, and these different groups, and if you broke them off, they were on their own nation. See, inhabited different parts. You see, they ain't all from Oklahoma. They're all from different parts, but they all came together, represented as different nations that conglomerated together as different people. Okay, so remember that when we talk about individual, we talk about a citizen or a member. Okay, but when we talk about a conglomerate, we talk about a nation. When we talk about 2 or 3 different nations coming together, that will be regulated by a confederacy or some type of government, right? A form of government as an administration for the nations, right? Because we're just dealing with a nation, okay, with more than one type of nationality, okay? Especially when you're dealing here in the United States or the mainland or in America, North America. We're dealing with more than one type of group. Right? Okay, so I just said that to show where clan. Clan is a group of people united by actual or perceived kinship and descent. Even in lineage details are unknown. Clan members may be organized around a founding member of ethnical ancestors. Clans in indigenous societies tend to be exogamous. Okay, there's a social norm of marrying outside one's social group. The group defines the scope and extent of exogamy and the rules of enforcement mechanisms that ensure its community. Okay, or continuity. I'm sorry, it's a community. One form of exogamy is dual exogamy. It's exogamy, in which 2 groups engage in continual wife exchange. Okay, so it's 2 different groups that come together, basically. You can tell them. Okay, and now we're going to go to the etymology. Okay, from the word the Scottish. Okay, Gaelic. Okay, Gaelic language dated to the Galles of Scotland. So that's a clan, right? So political units. Political clans as political units in different cultures and situations. A clan usually has different meaning other than kinships, kin-based groups such as tribes and bands. So it has a different meaning. And then when it comes to tribes, tribe, the term tribe is used in many different contexts to refer to categories of human supergroups. The predominant usage of the term is in the discipline of anthropology. Okay, the definition is contested, in part due to conflicting understandings of social and kinship structures, also reflecting the problematic application of this concept to extremely diverse human society. The concept is often contrasted by anthropologists with other social and kinship groups being inherently larger than a lineage or clan, but smaller than a, okay, it says larger than a lineage or clan. Okay, so the tribe is going to be a conglomerate. Okay, my whole family is the tribe. Okay, or clan or chiefdom. Chiefdom is a form of hierarchical political organization in non-industrial societies, usually based on kinship, in which formal leadership is monopolized by the legitimate senior members of selected families. We're talking about something that's organized here. This is all political. Okay, these are all political constructs. You see what I'm trying to say? Clans, tribes, nation. Okay, all it is the same thing. They're all conglomerate of people, but it's different sizes. Okay, so a tribe would precede uh, a clan. Okay, we just seen that. That's what that is. So when we talk about a nation, okay, nation is much bigger than a tribe. Okay? System, group of interacting and related entities. So let's go ahead and look up the word of, look up the definition of territory. I'll do that here. That's government. We get look up territory, and then we're gonna go into what a corporation is, contrary to a country. Okay, because the thing is, we have a nationality, and we're not claiming a nationality. When you're claiming black, you're going outside of your headship. You're going outside of where your land is, and they gave you a landmass, and they gave you an origin of where your people are. They gave you a story. They gave you one. But that ain't what your grandma said. See, these people's grandma and grandfather are telling them that they're German and they're Scottish and they're from Dutch or whatever the situation may be, right? But they telling you what you are, and you telling them you believe them, and your grandma's crazy. That's what's going on right now. And then you saying you're black, and then when I argue and say, man, look at your skin color, you're brown, you're not black, these folks will bite your head off and call you crazy because you said they're not black. And you don't think that you're black. I know this is what's happening. This is what's really going on. I'm gonna speed it up a notch. We got into all the good definitions and stuff, and kind of broke some things down so we can get a clear understanding. Now that we get our understanding together, you know what I'm saying? I think a lot of this we can agree where it is a lot of commercial constructs put together up under a government that is supposed to be here to administer on behalf of a people or a race of people. Okay, that's a nation. Okay, but what we have right now doesn't function like a nation. Doesn't function like a nation because we don't all share the same attributes, and we all claiming to be from the same place and speak the same language and eat the same foods. Okay, but we ain't from the same bloodline. We ain't from the same heirship. We don't have the same kingship or the same lineage or none of that. We really don't share the same attributes. Not all of us. Okay, so how can we all have the same share to designate the same country? Okay, and then your nationality refers to the people, your language, and the whole nine. But these people are specifically here to administrate on behalf of a nation. So how are we taking the form of a government when we're supposed to be separate from our government, and the government is supposed to assist with the nation and not the nation up under a government? How did this happen? How did we accept that? How is this part of the norm? And why is nobody saying nothing? Huh? Why is nobody walking around here with no nationality? I don't understand that. Huh? I'll tell you why right now, because we ain't got our own territory. We claiming a territory, we're not claiming the land. The land only belongs to the American Indian. So if you're not claiming to be American Indian, you can't claim the land. Simple as that. They don't claim the land. Okay? Now you see where I'm going to. I'm gonna see if you can figure it out. They ain't claiming the land for a reason. All right? Territory, definition of territory. Okay, meaning of territory. Go to Wikipedia, let's keep it Wikipedia. You got sources here. Okay, territory of the Wikipedia. Territory is an administrative decision. Okay, of division, I'm sorry. And they give you all these conclusions to what it is, and get you so lost into what it is. And then they start explaining it in a minute and giving you words and throwing words out there. It's an administrative division. It's a unity. It's an entity. It's an area, or it could be a region. You know what I mean? Now you got to try to guess what one of those is. And this says also referred to as a subnational entity. So it also can mean this. So you just gave us a bunch of words, then told us what you thought it meant. So really it means subnational entity. What is subnational? Subnational entity means an entity that works up under another entity. Hello. Still a colony of Great Britain. Okay, United States is not a country. Okay, it is a corporation. It's your country. Okay, they just telling you a story. That's it. And y'all go on with it. And because y'all go on with it, that's what it's going by. It's called de factoism. Y'all not understand, y'all being de factonized. Okay, we're gonna get the definition of de facto in a minute. An administrative division. Okay, now I just went and gave you the administrative division. And we just talked about subnational entity. I just looked up the word subnational entity and it gave me administrative division. What's going on? Territory, administrative division. Okay. Subnational entity. Click that right there, subnational entity. Boom, it gave us administrative division. Well, it's the same thing. Administrative division, unity, entity, area, also referred to as subnational entity. Constituent, unity. Constituent, that's more than one. Okay, a country subdivision. Subdivision means it works for another country. Okay, is a proportion of a country. Portion of a country is a piece of a country. Or other region delegated for the purpose of administration. What does this mean, y'all? Y'all not getting this. This is what they telling you right here, that this ain't y'all, this ain't our land. We here as a secretary. We are here to administer on behalf of the natives that are here. They're not Native Indian, but they're Native American. So they renamed your land America. And then they took the name, gave you the name, you agreed to it. They patent the name, now they own it. They only own it by title. They don't own the land in property. They don't own the properties of a land, which would be the dirt or whatever. They are only here and they're allowed to do whatever they want to do with it because we ain't saying nothing. How can we do it when we ain't together as a nation of people? We got to come together to be a nation. A nation is not a native. Not one person can't be a nation. Are y'all understand what I'm saying? That's the reason why it took me all these definitions to come up with one, because that's how the white man does it. He scatters everything out and make it a Scooby-Doo mystery when he could have just told you just clearly, a nation of people is Yao, a race of people that belong to here to a territory, and the government is administration for the people that work here, for the people that's on that land. But that's way too specific. So they want to make it more vague and make it more broad so that it can mean more than one thing and we can argue. Okay, but once we put the definitions down, we start seeing the symbolism, breaking down the little words over the big words, we don't get confused because now we go to a flow sheet right here that tells us clearly what a country is and what it's not. Okay, and we know that a country is a nation, it's a government and a territory, all three in one. And then they start talking like
Creek. Creek.
Yo.
Give me 5 minutes. I got to step away for about 5 minutes.
Okay, I'll be here.
Okay.
Okay, so we got so these three things make up a country: a native or naturalized member of a state or a nation who owes allegiance to its government. Boom. Those are the people. Government, a system or a group of people. These people that work for the system, make up the system. Now we're telling you a system ain't a robot, so they had to give you an example and say, okay, well, what do you mean a system? What do you mean? A system is a group of people. Okay, so a group of people can make up a system, but wait a minute, a group of people is a nation, right? No, these are a group of people, but these group of people function different, right? They're not citizens. They don't take on activities from day to day. These people govern. Okay, so a group of people that govern. So you got a group of people that watch a group of people. I ain't saying it. I mean, I said it, but y'all reading it right here. We just took all that from that. Now, I did all the cross-examining. I did all the slow reading. I did all that. Now I'm moving too fast for you. See what I'm talking about? See, a system, a group of people govern. And this right here is that owes allegiance to. Okay? Owes allegiance to. Just underline that. And this one over here, I'm going to take that because I just want to use that for the moment, the time being. Okay, so then we got a system, a group of people, govern or organize community, often a state, but also other entities, for an example. Right here. That's what we want to focus on. Put it right there. A country is people who owe allegiance to. A government is a group of people who govern. Right? Why did I just say it like that from the beginning? Say it took me 5 seconds to say that. But I had to go all the way around the Mayberry bush. And I see how I broke it down just to say those two things. It was that simple. Somebody don't want to Somebody y'all don't want this to be that simple. They don't want somebody to understand it. Okay, but the people that do understand it, right? The people that don't. Okay, so we got, that's what separates a country and a government is people, but a country is people who owe allegiance to. Okay, a government is a group of people who govern. Okay, and a territory, let's get on territory. Now, a territory is an entity, an area, a region, subnational entity, purpose of administrating. Administrating, what? The term administrating was as used in context of government differs according to jurisdiction. So administration is what? Okay, it's different depending on who's using it. That's what they say. Okay, but y'all can't give us no definition. I'm just gonna tell it it's different. Somebody don't want this stuff to be easy, y'all. Okay, somebody wants it to be different terms, and a bunch of people argue. Okay, so a territory is administrative division. When we look up an administrative, see, they didn't want to give us subnational entity. So I'm gonna go look it up because they think I forgot about that. I did. Subnational entity. What do you mean when you say subnational entity? Okay, subnational entity, administrative division. Why do they keep saying administrative division? Administrative means to work for. Okay, let's look for a definition of it, because they're gonna keep administrating us to death without trying to give it, tell it. It depends on who it is. It's saying it can be different things. Well, listen, Negro, can we get a solid definition? I don't like not knowing. I don't know about nobody else, but I don't like not knowing. I like to know what it is I'm talking about before I start running out a whole bunch of terms, and I don't even know what it means. Okay. Administration, meaning in the Cambridge English Dictionary, but let's do the Wikipedia. Okay, let's keep it all Wikipedia because we know we can go to source if we got to. Okay, administration, management, the act of, directing. Okay, so they did us the favor by giving us a whole bunch of different definitions. Okay, management, administration when it comes to government, management in or of government, administration, the administrative division. So it still didn't give us, it said a management in or of government. So it's a management in government or a management of government. So somebody is either running the government, management the government, or they're managing inside the government. So it can be in and out. Okay, so what they're saying is they just gave you it right there. They just giving you a hint. They just said management of a government. So you got somebody that's running the government, managing the government, and you got people that manage inside the government. That's a system. A system is a bunch of components that come together to make one thing, right? Administration division. Still not giving us a definition for that. The management in or of government. I'm gonna take that whole thing and look at that. What y'all mean when y'all say that? Let's go to the Google. Management in or of government. Managing government, governing management. Okay, same thing. Whether it's capitalism or versus communism, privatization versus naturalization. Okay. So now we just stepped up to the plate. Now we see we didn't got all them other definitions. So now we want some answers because we done got off, we done fooled with all the what a country is, what a government is, what a nation is. We're still on territory, but they stumbling around the word territory, still trying to give us a complete solid information. We know what a citizen is, we know what a member is, okay, and a corporation is yet to come because we know corporations going to basically tell you the same thing right here. That's why I say that for last. Because I already know that once we get to the corporation, you're going to see where everything over here is claiming what it is and what it's not, and you're going to be able to see the difference. Once you get to right here, okay, you should get to the point where you should make a decision on what it is that you want to do. Now, the thing is, your status and your statting, so we never even finished that, but I put status and statting up top for a reason. And the reason why I did that, because Once you figure all this out, then you can have status of standing. And then once your status of standing is up under your nationality, whatever your nationality is. But you can't do none of that until you figure all this other stuff out. Once you can't figure out if you're black or brown first, you got to be able to figure out if you're black or brown. You're going to be black, okay, or if you're going to be brown. All that has to be figured out first before you can figure out what your nationality is, okay? And then whatever your nationality is going to be your status and your standing. See what we're talking about? Okay, so we almost there. We're going to go through the corporation, and we're going to go into managing government, government management, governing management, okay? Capitalism has triumphed, okay? This is a blog. I don't like reading blogs, but I wanted to pick at some of the stuff that was in here without having to read it real loud. So we just go over the capture, okay? Beyond public and private. For as long as anyone cares to remember, we have been mirrored in a debate over the allocation of resources, okay? Resources, okay? That's a good way to see resources right there. See how they separate and they say sources. So the sources have been undermined, and that's basically what they're telling you. This would be a good blog to read if you want to capture words, and you like me, you like looking up definitions, using the etymology. This would be a good one right here, because see how it separated resources. So they say in a source, giving a donation, denotation to what sources is, and then they're saying read the sources. So the sources have been taken and put different places. They're being used in different ways by different people. They've been managed by somebody else's manager who used to manage it, or you work as a manager as a business, okay, but then you got to boss your damn self, okay? So somebody is managing the manager, okay? If there's a manager in the government, and then you have a manager that manages the government, so the managers inside the government have managers too. So who is the manager of the government? Who is the boss of the government, right? That's all this is basically saying right there. Okay, it's the same thing. Manager is boss of the government. Okay, and who is the boss? Of the boss. Okay, managing and management, right? Managing is what you do. It's a verb. Management, it can be a verb too as well. It's a management, or it can be a title. So it also can be done into an adjective because it describes something that is a manager, or describes a manager, or the thing or what a manager does, which is management. Okay, so somebody is governing management. Management meaning more than one manager, right? So who is the boss of the boss? Okay, I'm not gonna go through this blog. Okay, if I had nothing else better else to do, I suppose I probably could read it. You know, man, I'm not really a blogger. I really don't get into blogs. I can, not that I can't. It's just not very interesting to me. I do like to read blogs to get difference of opinions. Sometimes I like to go in, or somebody will give me a source. And a lot of times they give me a source, and the source is a blog. It won't be a scholarly source; it'll be a blog. You basically basing your opinion on somebody else's opinion, and couldn't even do research of your own to figure out what it is while you're arguing online. Change management in government. Leaders of government agencies operate under handicaps largely unknown with the private sector. Okay, now what this is going to what I just told you about de factoism, and which you have the opposite of de factoism, okay, which is going to be de jure. Okay, so you got de facto versus de jure. Let's know what this is first before going into public and private, because you're not going to understand public and private fully without knowing de facto and de jure. Okay, de facto and de jure. De jure means, let's start with de jure. De jure in law and government. Okay, in law, right there it says in law and government. De jure, so I gave you two references. Okay, so a reference to government and law describes practices. Practices is something that you do on a daily basis, like a ritual. Okay, that are legally recognized. Legally, they say lawfully. It says legally. What is legal first? A lot of people think they know what legal is. They don't. But black laws is down, yeah. I ain't figured out how to do the black laws. I ain't got it online. I got the book right here somewhere. So we just looked up. Let's see. Legal defining of legal. Okay, let's go to law. Let's go to Law Dictionary of Legal. Okay, so we can search for that. Word legal from law. What does the word legal mean? Legal term or definition not found. Okay, so I have a dictionary there. Legal, that which according to law. It says according to law. So legal and law is the same thing. Legal is, let me give you this short definition because I don't want to have to go in a whole 30 minutes in and try to break this down. I already know that legal comes from law. Legal, law gave birth to legal. Legal is adopted by the law, okay? When you talk about the law gave birth to legal, okay? In a sense, but legal is not really related to law by birth. It's not biologically connected to law, but it is adopted from law, as to say that somebody gave birth to somebody versus somebody who adopted somebody. Adopted means to take on the ability of something, but it's not, that has similar components, maybe different, but only the same through adoption, right? And I don't want to confuse you, so let me do this and give you an adoption and go back on. I'm gonna go in just a little bit. I'm gonna go back on the territories. Right? Forget about that, and then I'm gonna do the definition for corporation, and then we're gonna go into what nationality is in reference to corporation versus a nation, and which one you think it is you claim. So what this does is it highlights what nationality is, so people can't confuse you and tell you what your nationality is. Nobody can tell you what your nationality is when you know what nationality is. Period. These people will twist you up, use words of language, words of art, and they tell you something and argue with them. If ain't nobody got a book there or anything, with the arm's reach, you know what I mean? They'll talk you to death, and you know it's not true, but you don't have any references. You ain't got no words to fight these people. So I'm giving you enough stuff so you can think about it. So next time somebody says about it, you don't have to have an argument, right? You can just say what the legal term of it is, say 2 or 3 words of the word, what it means, and you say, go look it up. And if they look it up and they're a smart ass, they'll look it up. But they're not going to never corner you and put you in a box to say that you're not right. They're never going to do that, okay? So these terms are widely more accepted by the majority, okay? So you might got 1 or 2, 3 people say, that's not what it means. Okay, but it does mean to the rest of the world. Meanwhile, the rest of the world is moving and grooving and operating and doing certain things. You trying to disapprove 1 million+ people, okay? And you ain't got nobody following behind you. You're just an individual yourself with an ID card and using Federal Reserve notes. So you're a citizen your damn self, talking about what somebody else's nationality is, and you don't even have a grip on nationality to say that you're Indian with a declaration or any of these type of things when you're doing the contrary of what somebody would do that forms a nation. Now me, on paper, I do the same thing that the United States does. On not corporation. On paper, I have a corporation that says my name, but it's only a name by fiction in a corporate, in a legal structure, okay, up under a corporation, okay, that forms itself of forms of the country, okay, that I allow them to do and use because they created it, but I use it, but it's not me. When you see my declaration, anytime you pull my certificate of live birth, whether it's filed in with the county recorder's office, right next to that, you're going to see a declaration right next to that. Now on somebody else's desk sitting there, you can send it through the mail with a bullhorn running out here with a mullet and some feathers on it, you know what I mean, saying that you are Indian. That doesn't make you an Indian. That makes you a protagonist. That makes you somebody that's against or going against the grain. And then you have what you feel might be the reason why you're going against the grain. And you might have some of the things that are truthful, or some of you might have a claim. You might have a valid claim, but your claim is invalid when it's not recognized. It's not recognized because it's not filed. It's not filed because you have a contrary or a controversy of something that has already created a record. And you didn't create a record to the contrary of the one that was there. And you got a majority of people that follow this, and you got 10 people that follow you. The majority is always going to be the what? Rule. So everything is ran up under facto. Not to say that it's right. I'm not saying it is right. I'm just saying it's de facto. So, you know, look at like Neo. What did Neo do in the Matrix, huh? Okay. What did when you talk about the Matrix, let me bring the Matrix up real quick. Okay. When you played in the Matrix, number one, right? Okay, the Matrix, okay, you got Neo. Okay. Neo symbolizes the one, right? Okay, and he was inside the system. Neo had to destroy the system within, right? Okay, he seen the picture from outside, but he wasn't much help from outside. He had to get into the game. He had to plug himself up to the Matrix and make himself a created character that can navigate, okay, in a vessel inside this game to make a change. Okay, he couldn't make a change outside of the game. Yeah, he was safe, but the thing was, the Matrix overcame every part of reality to make it a non-fiction, to make it seem like it wasn't real, right? And that's what Neo had to do. Neo had to create a character, similar to the Matrix, like a Matrix that we deal with in society, which is a system. The Matrix is a system, right? So now we're dealing with a Matrix that is telling us, okay, legal, which is opposition to equity. Let me see. Okay, so which is according to law, is opposition equitable as the legal estate is in the trustee, the equitable estate, and the custodial elements. That's good information, but that's not what I'm looking for. Okay. We talked about legal. Let me see the word legal. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Let's get into legal. So, legal. And so the thing is this: we're dealing with de facto, private and public, right? Okay, so legally, that's where it came from. Legally, I just looked it up. Okay, practice that are legally. Legal came from law. That's where it was at. That's got my point.
Talk up some for us, Creek.
What's that? I didn't hear you.
I said talk up some because I can barely hear you.
Okay. Legal and law. Okay, I'm trying to show the difference between legal and law. Okay, legal came from law. It says accompanied by law. When we look up the word legal, right? It's legal. We had a definition. I just took it down. Put it back up. Legal. Legal is adopted by law. That's where I was at. Adopted. What is adopted? Adopted means to adapt. That's funny. Adopted. Adopted meaning this. Adoption. Let's go to adopted. Wikipedia is saying adoption. I know it's going to say the same thing. But adoption or adopted, because, you know, one in the I-O-N, and believe that was being an adjective right there. Adopted. An adopted child has been legally taken by another family. Okay, so one took one under, okay, and to be taken care of as their own, okay? So legal mimics law, but it's adopted, okay, because it's not the same thing, okay? It's only together by adoption, okay? It's not biological, okay? It's not the essence of. It came from, it begot, but it was through adoption. See what I'm saying? An adopted country is one where someone chooses to live although they were not born there. Okay, you was adopted country, right? That's a good example right there. Spain is my adopted country. Okay, you live here, but you ain't from here though. Okay, chooses to live although they were not born there. Okay, so you ain't from here, but you know you live here. So you're American because you've been here for 8 years, more than the amount of time accounted to be a citizen or afforded to citizens. See, citizens have privileges, right? So if you're here for longer than 8 years, boom, you got residency, right? And permanent residency would claim you to be a citizen, right? Okay, so of enrolled, etc., own and maintain. Okay, so adopted, right? That's what adopted is, right? It came from. Okay, so it's adopted, but not biological. Okay, when you go to Wikipedia and adoption, okay, it goes to adoption is a process, okay, whereby a person assumes pertaining or of another, usually a child, from that person's biological or legal parent or parents. Legal adoptions permanently transfer all rights and responsibilities along with I can't see that. Okay, here we go. Filiation from the biological parents and parent or parents. Okay. So basically what they're saying is something that came from something, right? Even though it's not biological, it came from and it inherited or took over, right? So basically, de facto took over what law was here present at one time. Okay, now we don't use the law, we use a legal system that came from the law, right? Which it simulates the law, but it's not the law, okay? And to back up my claim, we can look up the word de facto, okay? And de facto versus de jure. We looked up de jure, this is de jure. Let's look up de facto. He's trying to hide de facto, okay, but we coming for you. So de facto, what does de facto mean? Okay, de facto in the Wikipedia, I think this is Spanish. Hold on. Okay, let's go and get the English translation of that. De facto is a Latin phrase that literally means in fact. That's what it means. It means in fact. That is by force of the facts. There you go. What does it say right there? By force. Okay, I'm gonna highlight that. By force of the facts, even if it lacks legal recognition. Okay, so it's only de facto is by force, and it goes by facts. So by force, we're gonna make this a fact by force. So it's by force of the facts. That's what it says. Okay, it says even if it lacks legal recognition. So it ain't gotta be legal. Long as it's a fact and we backed it up, we made it a fact. Okay, when you force anybody to do something, you making it the way you want it to be. So we making it a fact. Okay, it ain't gotta be legal. We gonna say that it's against the law to have your seat back while you ride down the street, and that's against the law. Well, wait a minute, how is it against the law? Ain't no law. Well, we making it that. It's a fact. Okay, we got people lobbying down in the White House and saying there's a billion people dying of black people laying back not watching traffic. So the police has enough rights or regulations right now to enforce the policy. We're going to make a policy, okay, so that it backs up that. And policy is not the law. See, these people got fat policies. They got statutes. They got codes, okay? And that's not, a lot of those make up the legal system, but not policy. Huh? A policy is a statement that's put together. Well, let's see what a policy is. We ain't gotta guess. What is a policy? These people are backing up policies. A police officer is a policy enforcer, right? Policy, police. Okay, whether you pronounce it police or police, policy or policy or police, whatever, police or policy or the policy to do or adjective. These people are using wordplay on y'all. Okay, they use a wordplay. We got the etymology. We skip to the etymology, but let's have policy right here. Policy. Policy is a deliberate system of principles to guide decisions and achieve rational outcomes. That's a very powerful statement right there. Okay, a policy is deliberate. Deliberate means what? A process of thoughtfully weighing options, usually prior to voting. So we all agree. So the majority rules on something that considered to be a policy. In order for it to be a policy, it has to be deliberate. Okay, and deliberate is going to be a process through weighing out options. So these are a bunch of people that weigh out some options. You see what kind of people they're talking about? Bunch of pilgrims, colonizers. Okay, system of what? Principles. What is principles? Principles is a proposition or value that is a guide for behavior or elevation. They go with the ors again. See, is a proposition. A proposition is a what? It's a deal. Let's make a deal. We'll make you an offer. Let's make it a deal. Okay, and we just call it a proposition, right? What it says. Now, if that's not what it is, let's be sure. Let's be for sure. We ain't gotta say it because Creed said it. Principle, yeah. Proposition. What is a proposition? Proposition, a statement. That's what I said. Statement. But let's go. I said a policy is a statement, but a statement or assertion that expresses a judgment or opinion. A suggested scheme or plan of action, especially in a business context. When we're always talking about a government, we're still talking about in business. Well, business, the government is a business, so that's what we're talking about. So, especially in government, they're talking about a scheme or a plan of action. Okay, we're gonna lock up everybody we see is leaning in the back seat of their car. How we plan on doing that? Well, the majority of people that do it are black. We'll make it a law. So every time we pick up people to say to do that, we'll make it a policy. It's not a law. You got a bunch of niggas that's locked up because a bunch of people right here sat in a room. Well, let's go back. Come on now, it's fact checking. Sat in a room and made deliberate decisions that were thoughtfully weighed out options, opinions. Okay, and they all figured out how they wanted to do it. The majority rule came up with principles. Okay, and principles are no more than what? Propositions. And propositions are no more than what? That's what they were before they became a law. They were a damn principle or a proposition before it came a law. That's why they got the lady right there with the damn thing. Y'all ain't saying the truth right in front of you. See? And look what it say right here. It says, or is inevitably consequences of something, comma, such as the laws observed in it, such as laws. So they're laws. So these people made it a law. A law ain't no more but somebody's idea to say, you need to go to jail. We see you leaning in the backseat of the car. And I think a majority of us did that. But the majority is what? That's a conflict of interest. Where my people at in there? Why do y'all got a people that's administration? Let's go back on everything we looked at. A management that's managing the government. Okay, so now we talk about a colony of Great Britain. Okay, that sent people over here as informants, that created a corporation with trading back and forth with resources, okay? Taking these from the natural resources from the people, the land, and people that's here. And in verse, they started off with working, but now working becomes slavery. So now they made you a slave, okay, on your own land, made you pay a fee, so now you a tenant, and they became a landlord. When you skip rent, or you don't pay homage, or you don't pay your taxes for them, so they can go pay their boss, okay, what's happening? They cut your lights off, literally, okay? So that's what's happening. You don't have a nationality. Outside of that, you belong to a citizen. You're a citizen that belongs to a corporation. That's a brand, okay? Black is a brand. It's a patent. It is an ownership, and it only refers to a certain amount of people. So they took you outside of a society, made you think that you're on your land, okay, in de facto, because de facto is what? Something by fact, okay, but it's not law, and we don't care if it's legal or not. And we're going to force you to go by it. And go by what? A de facto? What is that? De facto policy? A bunch of policies? Huh? Policies that do what? These policies are a deliberate system of principles. Okay, they're a bunch of opinionated white people. Okay, and they think this and they think that. Okay, and they pushed it and made it a policy or made it, a law. And then the police is the policy enforcer. That's it. So we're gonna use our police at the end of the day to force these policies. While these motherfuckers, man. Let's see what these things. Let's see what they look like, bro. Look what they look like. But you don't see none of them on the street nowhere. Okay, they looking through a TV screen in a dark, deep web somewhere. Okay, because they didn't bought a bond and exchanged everything to wipe off any kind of karma to say that they own you as long as you agreed to it because you ate the bread. And while you eating the bread is the money, right? The bread is money. We know that, and the bread is consideration. We talk about a contract and an offer. So they offered you the bread, you took it. That's a consideration. Whether you want to say it's money or not, it's still a consideration, right? They took the bread, you ate the bread. Now you drank the blood. Now, what kind of ceremony is that when you drinking the blood? Whether it's the blood of Jesus, who drinks and eats blood, man? What? Y'all don't even question y'all own religion talking about let's drink the bread and eat the bread. What? I'm not drinking nobody's blood in real life. So what am I gonna drink Jesus' blood for? And why is everybody gotta drink Jesus? What's that supposed to do? They didn't even explain it to you, and can't nobody even tell me what it means to drink the blood. Okay, now you can talk about the blood or remission of the sin. Okay, so why would I want to drink the remission of your sins? Why would I want to partake on to the remission of your sins to say that I forgive you by taking on the remission of your sins? And as a consideration of doing so, you're going to give me the bread. You're going to give me a stimulus check, right? And not seeing that you just agreed to something. So whatever takes place after that, whether it's activities or whether it's some type of policy or whether it's some type of enforcement, whether it's de facto or it's based on law or not, you took a stimulus check. You claim to be a citizen because you took in behalf on the benefits. So how can you claim to be an Indian with your own land or on your land when you're doing two things that one contradicts the other? You can't do both. Yes, you could be an Indian and have standing and status and stand on your Indian claim or claim to be an Indian and you got proof to do that, then that's going to be your nationality. So you can stand on your nationality and on behalf of an administration, have them administer to your nation state, to your government, to your tribe, okay? But you can't do that if you're stateless, okay? So what is your nationality? Okay, that's the topic of the whole thing. What is a nationality? People take a nationality thinking, oh, everybody's the Moor, everybody's a Hebrew Israelite, or so forth and so forth. No, or you're a Latter-day Saint, or you're a member of a fraternity. But all these are members, okay, that refer to a group or a group of people that govern over another people, which would be considered to be a what? A government, which also functions as an entity or what? Company. We just seen that right there. They just told you that. I didn't say that. They said that. And then they said a territory is within an administration. Administration works within a territory. Okay? But it didn't say a land. And there was not one saying nothing about a damn land. We look at a territory, still looking for the land for it. We were all the way into an administration. We're all into a Dejon law and all that broke all this way down off a territory. All these titles up here and this cross-examination came from a damn territory. See, they're telling you a story outside of where the territory is without telling you that we don't have rights to a land. So even though it's a government, it can refer to a government, but a government is not on the land. A government is on the territory that specifies specifically to a territory, a region, a subdivision. That's it. A piece of a land. It's not the land. It's a piece of it. Okay? And it works as an international entity. International means working up under. We didn't finish the definition of international. We still try to find a word for territory. But if you're rocking with me, and even if I'm losing you, you can go back. Because at first, a few of y'all, I know y'all was like, man, this is going too slow, and I'll be back. I'm finna go do this. And you went to sleep and leave my worker. I had my significant other was supposed to help me with, the thing over here. You can probably hear it snoring in the background. See, I don't rock y'all to sleep with all the slow definitions, but now I'm going so fast. Now you're like, wait a minute, where's this way? Now I'm going too fast for you. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is this, listen, when it comes to this, I'll break it all the way down for you. We're gonna finish out this here, right here. We're gonna finish this up here. But alongside of looking at the definitions and looking at all these things, now there's no room for argument. There's no variations to, oh, it's this, it's not what Creek said, it's this, it's that, it's 20 other things. Because whatever you saying, it gotta be the same thing I'm saying because we're looking at the same definition. That's it. And even when it is another definition that's similar to that one, it is only going to take you outside of what that is. So it's still going to put you in a de facto state. If I say I'm a native to this land and I'm a Native American, okay, or a Native Indian, okay, native is still synonymous to a country or a nation or a member of a state, okay, or a member of a nation that owes allegiance to a government. Stop right there. A Native American don't though. It shouldn't, but it is. I mean, in essence, it really is. But the whole point I'm saying is that's why they had to kill you off. Okay, that's why they rewrote you out of history. Okay, that's why when you read about American Indians of copper color, they all died of smallpox. That's why, because you and your land is here, and they don't own your land, and they are an administration, or they work on behalf of a government, okay, that is here, that is in a territory that only undermines a certain activities. They only own their activities, their brands, their names, their terms, their contracts, and the agreement of any term of that contract. And if you fall up under that, then you are a part of that. If you uncontract with these people and you know who you are, they cannot tell you who you are, who you're not. How dare somebody say that you black and you look at and you scared to look at your skin when they telling you that? Scared to even look down at your skin and say that you brown. And then turn around and say I'm brown. And if I'm too smart and I come in and say, look at your skin, boy, you brown, you're gonna bite my head off. Go against what I'm saying. Listen to these people, and your grandma told you you was Indian. Grandma didn't know nothing about no damn Africa or none of these new terms or the New Deal or any of the stuff after the war that they came up with, or white people walking around here with blue eyes and all this old type of stuff, you know, into a certain period of time. All before that, listen, man, we had our own land. A lot of us was farmers, okay? And I can show you pictures where my grandma had her own land and white people there doing business with my grandma. Okay, and then later on when she died, you know what I mean, they took over the wheel and now they got a part or almost part of the whole land, if not the whole thing. How did that happen? Okay, somebody failed to tell us the truth. Somebody was scared to let us know or didn't know the whole thing's requirements on to have a nation, and they got tricked into thinking that this nation was all a part of us and they was here because they was told something, and later on we forgot what they told us, what it was, the whole deal, the contract, the treaty, all that got swept up under the rug. Now here we are almost 200 years into all these new deals, these contracts, a war that came out, you know what I mean? You got the Indian Wars, we got the World War I and II that came out, you know what I mean? Colony of Britain that came over here and seized this and seized that. People that did drugs and made up, and had babies by this and had babies by that. 200 years later, you forgot who you were. Now you calling yourself black with brown skin, running around here talking about red, white, and blue with a fag that don't have any type of remnants to you. It doesn't represent you at all as representation, but still making you pay taxes without representing you as a people, as a whole. Made you dead, die, and deaf, and die and dead. Okay, and it told you you don't exist because you're the opposite or the absence of life or light itself, and light means white. Now how synonymous is that? You dead, they alive. They're supposed to be a minister on your land. They are a secretary. They're the tenants on your land. Okay, but you can never claim to be claim these people as being less than you until you can claim your headship, which is the one that's here. And they're telling you by law that the American Indian is the Native American. but you'll never hear them declare it out of their mouth to say that they're Aboriginal, and the Aboriginals come from what we consider to be Australia. But if you like my, shouts out to Rob Cole, that's my brother right there. We just did a build yesterday, right? And we all the same people. So whether you say they're Aboriginals from here or there, we are Aboriginal to this land. All of us are Aboriginal to whatever land you're from. You're indigenous to this land. Like the people in Africa are indigenous to that land. The people in Australia are indigenous to that land. We the only ones in the Americas that had to come from one designated area. There's 10 million of us here and 8 million of us here, and all of South America, they got the same story as we got up here, and Central America, and all of us came from Africa. And you go in Ghana's population is what? Less than what? All of us come from a goddamn Ghana now. I don't look like nobody from Ghana. Look at Creek Running Water very, very well. I don't even look African. You say I'm looking African, I'm slapping you across your shit. You a goddamn lie. I don't look no goddamn African. I ain't got no features to look African. Now, nose ain't that broad. I got that long corn nose like a goddamn Indian. Okay? I don't have features like a African. I grow my hair long. Africans don't even grow hair. The texture of their hair is beady and coarse. Okay? And they tend to have a more round structure when it comes to their head, and their phenotype when it comes to their eyebrows are not like ours. Our eyebrows are arched and up. Theirs is down and flagrant. Their nose is more broad and flat. Ours, we have some people that have similar African features. Not to say that we're not similar in structure, but we are totally different when it comes to extremities. Okay, when it comes to the extreme, okay, and going in detail. Of course, I can find a white boy with a big nose and flat features and look like he black with some curly hair. I can go find one of those. But does that mean that everybody white got that? Okay, it don't apply to them when they say that, but they're gonna find out one and get the most hideous looking black person, and then say all black people look like this, and then have a monkey right next to it and say how we evolved from the monkeys, with this old Darwin crap, right? But I don't even look like no damn monkey. Why? You gonna look at the color of my skin and say, oh, yeah, you black because my skin's dark. Okay. The population of Ghana. Okay, let's look at the population of Ghana. They're trying to say North, Central, and South America all came from Ghana. Ghana talking about come home, all of us. Listen, I go to Ghana, I'm gonna shoot one of y'all motherfuckers. I believe in terrorism. I'm gonna go on one of these new countries they got up in there, and I'm gonna be a terrorist. I'm gonna set up all kind of shit, learn how to do some C4, and I'm gonna take that bitch over with. And then I'm gonna go down in history. And even though they might get me, but there's a whole bunch of them gonna go down with me too. And I'm gonna lead an expedition, and then hopefully I can wake y'all weak Negroes up, and y'all can cross the seas. But yeah, that motherfucker was a rider. He was a soldier. He went over here and did this, and now it's gonna cost your mind to do the same thing. And I'm being facetious, but you know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, that's how it's got to happen. Somebody's got to lead, put the boots out here, so to speak, as to say that it has to happen. One person has to lead to show the other person an example, to show how it needs to be done by demonstration. That's how it needs to get done. Okay? And that could be anybody that's in the chat, anybody that's on the panel, on and off of YouTube. It could be somebody that you admire, or somebody that's passed, or somebody that you took over the attributes of somebody. You might have the attributes of some of your other ancestors. Okay? And somebody might look to you, to your information offline. You listening to me, and you taking my information and taking it to somebody else, and you building with them, and then at lunchtime, you might got 20 or more people listening to you based on something I said off of YouTube. You just took 20 people, and I took whatever off the chat, and together us, we just put together a nation. Now, out of those 20 people, you got 18 of them going to be like a daisy, but 2 of them going to hit you up. 2 of them going to come to you and be like, hey, listen, I'm down to do it. You go to the one that's the 2, and you build with those 2. Okay, and the 2 of y'all, even though it's just 3 of y'all, you know what I'm saying? You branch out. Okay, you plant the seed and you keep branching, and that's how you do. You plant the seed, create a tree. The tree has branches. That's how we do it, right? So, and like I said, I'm being facetious, but then it's a whole lot of truth for the joke too, right? You know what I'm saying? It is gonna get to a point we are gonna have to fight. We are gonna have to come together as a nation. That's just what this whole thing is about. If we want it to work, we're gonna have to come together. And I said that to say I know all of us are not going to come together, but it just goes back to what I just said. I'll repeat it again. Go to the ones that you know that's going to build with you. Go to the like-minded people, okay? And eventually we all going to come together, right? Because I told people, I was just telling somebody the other day, think about this. The government is leading a pandemic to kill all of us, okay? And we ain't hardly got a say so at all. We ain't got a dog in the fight. When you look at the politics, all the people that are talking for us on behalf of the so-called American or black or mislabeled black Americans, all of them sold out. All these black politicians are sold out. They're all boule, right? And they ain't talking with the best of our interest. They making deals with the devil to sell our soul for money, for their gain, right? And we know that to be the truth. So who's fighting for us? Because they've already tried to pass three vaccines already tried to pass through the world court already through the world court. 3 vaccines tried to pass already, and they got denounced already. 3 vaccines they stopped from going into the public. So when they try to declare these vaccines, it's going to be vaccines that they wanted to use in the pandemic for the people here in America and abroad. And when they try to get they try to go through the courts to get a okay so that they're able to use these vaccines. Okay, in layman terms, they declared them unhumane. Each vaccine said it had different alternate. It had things in it that would alter people's DNA to a structure to an extremity to that it's beyond their human rights. Okay, I said this to say this: who is fighting for us to do all this? Okay, if it ain't nobody black that's in politics doing that, who is this invisible force that is fighting for us? Because the vaccine was supposed to come out back in June, right? Supposed to come out in June. We're supposed to have a vaccine in June. Now they push it to August. And they say when schools start back, the kids are going to be taking all that. Now, remember that? Now, how all of us, it's funny how 6 months ago, all of us was talking about today. 6 months ago, we was talking about how we was going to have guns and fuck all that. We're going to have to fight these people. They're going to try to take our kids and bust them into a place and put them in FEMA camps. We was talking about that, babe, back in February. Here it is in September. Kids been back in school. That what's up. That what's up. What's going on? And none of that take place. But they kept feeding us imagery and they kept giving us fear because that's an offer. When you take on the fear and they say, hey, we're going to kill y'all, put all y'all in the FEMA camps, you take it for granted and take it for real. Now they see that you getting ready like that. What they do? They're going to make an opposition to what the seed that they just planted. You just took over and bet the seed, ate the seed, you ingested it, and you start living it. Now you just took on the identity or you just took on the plan of everything that he said he wanted to do. You just took it on, right? So that's what's happening, okay? We're feeding into the fear, okay, and not getting yourself ready. And then when you see false dates and false events happening, then you want to procrastinate to say, oh, we got more time than what they said we did. They said the end of the world was going to be back in August. Here it is September. Oh, so we really got time. Listen, man, all that is a bunch of trash. What I'm telling you is you're dealing with a people that ran out of time, that are on your land. You're waking up to who you are. They see it happening and they are so goddamn cotton picking scared, okay, that they're bringing in a pandemic. Now you see now right now, listen, I done walked from everywhere from here to Mexico to Texas, Indiana to DC, the Jers. I go back and forth, and these some of the places I be at. You know what I mean? I finna hit a few spots down south, ATL, Texas, and so forth. What I mean, Tennessee too as well. Ohio, Chicago, my second home. These people ain't even wearing masks. It was just in Alabama the other day. Same thing. Ain't nobody even wearing masks no more. I'm like, what? Now, of course, they making you wear the mask going to the store, right? I see some people ain't even wearing. I'm not even wearing a mask going to the store. Because I got to the point now where I ain't even wearing a mask and I ain't running back to the car to get no mask. I ain't bought no mask. The little mask that they did give me, that same mask is sitting up there on my steer ship. I sit it right there just in case a police or something like that. Sir, can you put your mask on? And of course, I'm a diplomat, right? I'm with the courtesy the whole nine. I put it on out of courtesy, you know what I'm saying? But, if I wanted to sit there and argue with the police and say my amendment, right, 14, 15, and all this old crap, and why I got to get it on there and don't have that on there, he may or may not, he may regard my rights that time, depending on what type of officer you have, and he might say, okay, forget it, it's your right, and you ain't got to do it. But why do all that? Because by the time you done did all that and wasted all that breath, I done went to where that do what I had to do and come back and took it off. Or I didn't put it on for that moment. As soon as he forgot about it, I slept it down. It's around my neck. That's all I've been doing. That's all I see everybody else doing. Now people are starting to lose the mask. What's happening? People are starting to not buy into the fear, and they see that it's not working the way the government has said they have wanted to implement it. Okay. And then when you look at the basis of their claim, it's all false. It's all built on false narratives. So the only thing they really trying to do is scatter for enough time to get your mind distracted so you won't see what's in front of you. And right now, what you see in front of you is you see a government that's falling apart because the government is fighting amongst themselves. White folks are fighting amongst themselves. We already know, okay, and this is a quote, the government self-destruct themselves over a period of time. You know what I mean? There won't be no government because governments are doomed to destroy. And we know that. And this one, this two is going to fall in line and do the same thing. They knew that from the conception of the time they became a government, that they was going to be destroyed. Okay? And they had so much time to do that. Now they're trying to cross-examine, and now they're trying to use things that are not even government related. They're trying to use things that are beyond human rights to say, while we got them dumb, let's do this. And who is fighting for us? Who? Who is it that's in these courts and stuff that's declaring this stuff unconstitutional, that's saying it's beyond human rights to do this? Huh? Who cares enough about so-called black people when black people don't even care about themselves? We'd rather sit time on it and talk about where the Indian came from for the next 5 years instead of talking about today and right now. They're talking about a remedy or trying to find a solution to fix the problems, right? So this is the type of thing. What we know what nationality is very powerful. One word brought this whole discussion on, okay? And you see that all these things are a counterpart because people will tell you nationality is citizenship. People will tell you status, or they'll tell you status, or it means a person with a country, or they say it's a nation, or they say it's a person, it's a native or individual, or they say it's a government. A government issues out nationality, or you got to be naturalized. All this stuff has been bunched up, and people don't know an exact meaning. So what I did, I said, you know, for the first time, you know what I mean, when me and Hobart talked about it, the Copper Empress, we talked about putting something together with the nationality, right? Because people don't know what nationality is. Y'all just really don't know what it is. Right around here calling yourself black, but moving around here scared of looking down and see that your skin is brown. Meanwhile, you don't understand by taking you out of context, okay, you don't have claims to the land. You can't unless you're from here, period. And now because it's impossible to kill a whole race of people, okay, with less than 1 million people, okay, with a bunch of primitive weapons that only shoot one time, that you got to reload. It takes almost 4 to 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes to reload another one, and say you miss. Okay, so you mean every time they shot their target, right? So what about the times when they missed their target? And I got a bow and arrow, or I got a tomahawk, and I'm 2 inches away from your head, and you got a gun and miss, and I hit you, huh? And there's three times as many people here on my land than it is coming here. And you got African slaves that want their freedom, but they fought along with the slave master to fight the Indians and beat the Indians too. So what they're saying is really, you stupid. That's what they're saying. They say, yeah, y'all stupid. Y'all did all that. Y'all been stupid. Yeah, y'all stupid. Y'all fought with us. We captured you, put you in slavery. But y'all so goddamn stupid that y'all helped us beat the Indians too. Y'all stupid. Now you start believing that you're really stupid. Or what you do is you think everybody else around you is black. They stupid, but you ain't. That's what a lot of people do. But if that's the case, then everybody thinks they ain't stupid. Then who's stupid? Everybody's stupid. Because number one, you're stupid if you think you're black. Okay? Stupid if you think you're black. What you need to do is give them back their Jesus. Sorry, but I know I got Christian, fans, like people, clients, they call me, they're Christians and stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. You be Christian, but like I told you before, listen very carefully. I told you, a nationality and religion is not the same thing. A religion donates to who your nationality is, because if you're from India, then you're gonna be Buddha, or Buddhism, or Hinduism, or one of those type of religions, right? You're not gonna be from America and black from Crenshaw Boulevard somewhere. You know what I'm saying? You studying Catholicism or one of these religions that's not even from your country. Okay, even though we doing that, but you got that's what we have. We got 2 men walking together and 2 women walking together and trying to conceive kids. It's outside of what natural, real law world is. We're not living in the jure country that's based up on a law, which is all law, okay? which is based upon a nature, which is Mother Nature, right? We came from the earth. You get your food from the ground, okay? You get from the ground, you come from the ground. The compositaries of the human already have more than 50% water. We know that. And blood, too, it has water in it, right? So what does that mean? You come from the ground. So I made you with this earth in it. So this earth, you are a compository of this earth. You came from the ground. You are the land. You're a walking land. You're a walking estate. You're a walking person. A person who's deemed something outside of is considered to be property. Property is land. That's what property is. Property is land. Okay? And you're always going to be susceptible to a government that's claiming you if you have one of these entities or these IDs. So you need to claim your ID. You need to claim your nationality. So a nationality, let's go back to territory because I want to finish up here. I know, I'm getting a little long on, the whole thing on the nationality thing, but I think it's prevalent that we have this type of information because I don't really see anybody else on the YouTube really specifying nationality. They telling you what your nationality is, and then they tell you go claim it, but they ain't telling you what your nationality is. Okay, they're not giving you the properties. They're not breaking it down. Okay, they're not giving you civics. They're not giving you the law and the build on legal and the law and using the black laws or using parts of the black law or legal definitions to complete what it is and telling you that. He's just giving you opinionated stuff and tell you this is what it is, and then y'all go back and forth, start arguing. Okay, I don't do that. Let's do a build. You know what I'm saying? And I'm using their words and their definitions. I'm not making up none of this stuff. It ain't coming from me. I'm not giving you opinionated gesture or what is that? A bunch of words and similes and just using a bunch of rhetoric. Okay. But anyway, I was still gonna. I thought it would be interesting to look up Ghana. I know I spelled it wrong. I'll give it down right now. They're gonna spell it right for me, and I'm gonna see the population because there's no way you can convince me that you traveling across the Americas on a boat. Okay, they said 21 million, then it was over 21 million. Then somebody said they just lowered it down to 12 million. You didn't have a million people on the boat. Okay, you didn't even have a million. Okay, and we just don't. Shouts out to Dave Calloway. I give him his props. He did have an interview the other day. I'm not an interview. He had a live he did with some other brothers on there, and I just caught a glimpse of it. Some other brother was telling me to check it out. Some of the things he was talking about Africa, the origin of Africa. And he talked about the origin of people and where they domicile and originality, contrary to what we've been learning in history. And he broke it down and used sources on it. One of the things he did say when he talked about that was the origin of Africa and the people that came from there. There's no way we could have came 12 million people coming from a place that doesn't even designate that much territory, that many people could have came from that area. It's impossible. Not to say that it's impossible, but if it wasn't impossible, you'd have to show and prove that, right? Okay, because a hypothesis is something that is opinionated without showing. So, I would want somebody to show me where you can put all of the Americas in one country like that. I think that's bullshit. People go on by that, but it's a bunch of bullshit. Okay, Ghana, says bless our homeland. Okay, whatever, but it's not giving you. It should give you a population of how many people it is. Other language capital. Of course, they ain't gonna give it to me. But today, ethnic groups, religion, Christianity, Islam. So majority of them are Christians anyway. Only 17% of them are Islam. Okay. And only gonna think about it. A lot of our people did go to Ghana. But we didn't just go to Ghana, we went all over the world. So to say that we from right there, we couldn't travel over there, what about all the other places we traveled? How come we ain't from there either? Okay, we traveled to all around the globe. Literally. We didn't restrict ourselves to just one little area in Africa. Okay. So anyway, y'all see the population right there. Okay. Estimated 31 million. Okay, that's about 220 estimate. Okay, population is 31 million. Okay, and there's the source right there to break it down. Okay, population project by sex, 2010, Ghana Statistical Services, archived by the original on 24/12/18. So there go your source. So 31 million. They're working on about 31 million, right? Okay. So when we go to America, how many people there are in America? And you know what? I'd have to even argue to say there was 31 people in that one little piece of part of Africa right there. I still would say that's bullshit. Okay. Because we already know these folks, they're going to put anything that's based on their narrative, and they're never going to go against what they're teaching. Okay. Now you've seen Ghana and you've seen America. Now watch when they say what the population is over here. Okay, right here. Okay, all right, that's more like it. But you know what? That was in 2019. 328 million. Okay, and they go to source for it, U.S. Census. They say it's 328 million to they 31. Okay, so we lapped them significantly. Okay, more than 300. We lapped them for over, almost 300 million more people. So it's 300 more million people. But now, of course, they're gonna make the population 31 to say that, you know, it goes along with their narrative. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they got 31 million people. You know what I mean? I can't. That would be a good topic of discussion for somebody that ain't got nothing else to do to go in on that. But you know, Ghana is they got their own flag, okay, coat of arms. See, all this is a nation. When you got a nation, you got a flag, okay. You got a coat of arms, and that a coat of arms is it's not mandatory, okay. You ain't gotta have a coat of arms. You gotta have a flag, okay. You gotta have a flag. Where your flag at? Is that our flag? I better wake up. You know what? It is our flag. Okay, it is. It's more our flag than it is theirs. Okay, because we donated to everything, gave them, and anything they did is just copy, rebrand it, and patent it. You know that. Okay. So let's go ahead and recap, summarize, get the definitions. Okay, and I'm gonna throw this in the link. If you got any questions after that, we're just gonna get done with it. Because I think what we did is we finalized. What we're doing right here is we're finalizing what nationality is, okay, and what it's not. Status is standing. You already know about the indigenous standing. I'm not gonna keep, well, I am gonna keep putting it in your head, but I'm not gonna keep going on about it because y'all should already know. And then if you have any quarrels to what a definition is, I got a video. Go to my video and tell you all the steps. It's like 3 hours long. Okay, about 2 hours long, a little over 2 hours. And the video goes in on what a declaration is and what it's not. I go in detail. Okay, you can read the whole thing. Smoke you a little blunt. You know what I mean? Put your little music on or something to get too boring. Put it on pause. Go do something else. Unpause it. And you want to hear it again or whatever. You know what I mean? And just keep it like that because, you know what I mean? I want people to get this. I'm not, in it for views or popularity or, it's not about none of that to me. It's about you understanding who you are, claiming who you are on and inheriting your estate the way you're supposed to so that you can live on your land the way you have and function as a person outside of being a citizen with all the same benefits, but you have all your rights and not privileges. That's what you want. That's immunity. That's what you want. That's what our ancestors want. That's what they told our ancestors we're gonna do. And that's what I'm doing. I am here on behalf of my ancestors, okay, to further what we're supposed to do to replace and replenish what it is that our family was supposed to do and what was taken away. So I can put it back and re-guide and put people on track to what our ancestors were. Now from there, we need to update what it was our ancestors were doing. Our ancestors didn't want to update a lot of the information. They didn't want to be able to revolve, or they didn't want it they didn't want to revolve. That's the thing. They wanted to stay like it was and just conquer and just kill and then take on a new identity, take on the new stuff, but then still keep the state the same way they do things without having to modernize other things and then deal with a system of trading that was upgraded and different from the way it was. Okay. So the thing was, the admixture is what our downfall was. And I'll keep saying that. I don't care what nobody say. We started mixing our seed with them. And then when we did that, we started making a joint relationship between these people and making it so they had reason to come here, even though they wasn't kin to you, they was kin to somebody else outside of you or another tribe of you. So what happened is not all the tribes agreed to what other tribes were doing. That's why he said the Indian Wars. The Indians were fighting Indians. And then you had the whites would get with the one of the Indians they want, and they was behind each Indian saying, well, you know what, I don't like the French. And they went over there, and the Choctaw had the French, and the Chickasaw had the England. So then the Chickasaw and the Choctaw was fighting, but the Chickasaw and Choctaw are the same nation. Same people. Chicken Chalk was twin brothers, two twin chiefs. Same nation, same people. NASDAQ too, same thing. I just showed you that in Muskegon. Okay, all the people right up under there is a Muskegon family. They all one nation. They all one people. Okay, they all speak the same language. They just went separate ways and they branched off. That's it. Seed is from the same thing, same source. So the thing is, we already was a nation of people. We need to get back to knowing who we was, and we doing that. We automatically are doing that. So the thing is, y'all wanted to go faster than what it is. Okay, we definitely need to do other things and restrict ourselves from other things that we're receptive of. See, we're receptive when it comes to weed, black and mouths, tops, toxic smoke, cigarettes, menthols, anything that's toxic. We're real receptive when it comes to these things. These things come in and become a part of our life, and they influence us without us admitting to it. Okay, we're not going to admit that cigarette. You got an uncle, auntie, a grandma, mama, somebody smoking cigarettes right now, sitting there and going to chemo or contemplating chemo right now, and they think it's everything but the damn cigarettes. You know that to be the truth. Huh? We need to stop playing games. That's the thing. We're playing too goddamn much. And the thing is, we start believing these people and let these white folks come in between us and cause them friction. And they have always been doing that. And that's what's going on in the time of our division. Okay? So we can't stand as a nation as division. It says united. I didn't see nothing in here that says division. It says united. It says organized. It says a system. That's all a group that's put together. That's the thing. We need to do all this. We're not doing that, y'all. So, but you know, my indigenous standard process is to do what? Individualize each person. So even if we don't come together, you still an Indian and you're not black. Guess what? We just jam the system. We just jam the system up. I don't care if I know you or not. You got a declaration file that says you're an Indian and it's filed next to a record that says you black, then there's no controversy. Even if it is a controversy, you know what controversy is going to be at? In court. Two people that don't agree need a mediator. That's court. You're filing a claim. Okay? People like the other sister was telling me, I ain't going to get into all this name calling stuff. She didn't know what a claim was. But you're supposed to be working in legal and law and you don't know what a claim is? For real? A claim is something that happens before it takes place, before a lawsuit takes place, right? What's a claim? I know we still got the definition of territory and corporation. We're going to finish this off. But I know as soon as I finish that off, we're going to be done. So I'm just going into the talking part. If anybody got any questions, shoot a question in the chat. We can go in or anything that you feel like may not be valuable information, anything I skipped over, anything you want to contribute or add to what I put here. You know, we create history with just a simple video right here. This video might end up in the hands of anybody. Anybody might be able to see this. Jay-Z or Beyonce or somebody that's interested in Indian something or whatever. They might be able to pick up, but you'd be surprised at some of the people that watch your views. Just because you ain't got 1 million views don't mean it ain't being viewed by somebody that's important. Okay? All your works are being seen. Okay? So the thing I'm trying to say is this. What is a claim? Claim in Cambridge, English. I'm just going. I don't know what Cambridge says up here, and I'm just going to read to see. Hopefully, it's going to say something similar to what I'm saying without going too crazy into something that's totally different. Okay, a statement that something is true or in fact, although other people might not believe it. A claim. You're making a claim on something. I'm an Indian. Okay, that's a statement. I've been telling people. I said it's a statement. Okay, you make a legal claim. Okay, you do that with a declaration, a statutory declaration. A statutory declaration is not the same thing as a declaration. It's a regular day. Anybody can make a declaration. What is a statutory? So people think, I'm having to put statutory out. Oh, we don't need that. Okay. You don't even know what it means. That's why. You don't know what it means. Okay. And I know I just skipped over from that claim because they didn't give me claim. A claim, say something that's true to be fact. Okay, but in law, what's a legal claim? Okay, I should specify it's a legal claim. Okay, statutory. What is a legal claim? I just want people to get a clear understanding. Let me see what time it is now. It's 11:46. Listen, we could be done with this in about 5 minutes, okay? About 5 more minutes. I know we got started late, and I've been going for a couple hours. And you know, a good couple hour build is nothing. When we building, you know, that's what a build is. We're not just on here talking. We studying, right? And we studying together, and we coming up with a conclusion, right? So we can have a definite and clear, concise meaning to what nationality is and what it's not. Okay, because we know folks keep talking about black Indians and so forth and all that, and there's no such thing as a black Indian. That's a construct. Okay, that's a political construct that only exists in fact by fact. Okay, but enforced in fact that's being pushed by a policy. Okay, by a group of people. There are nothing when we build. You know, that's what the build is. We're not just only talking, we're studying, right?
Like I said, we can come back and do it again Wednesday night when I get off.
Okay.
You know, if you want to.
Yeah,
So
I do Wednesday. I do. Yeah, Wednesday is good.
You just let me know.
That's it, because we definitely do it another Wednesday, and then we can just do a popular topic because people will email me or they'll email you or how we want to sit down and come down with it, and we'll just go in it. Because my area of study is going to be law and legal.
Okay.
And it refers to the Indian and what we need to do in order to solidify our citizenship, our nationality, and how we need to put that together. So it's going to be serious of all this. All these are going to be series. You know, it's going to be synonymous. If it's not going to be the same title, it'll be similar to whatever the last thing was, or similar in topic. But anyway, a legal claim as well. Let's just look at the definition. We got 4 minutes. I said 5 minutes. I'm going to honor the 5 minutes. Okay, so we're going 4 minutes into the 5 minutes. I said 4 minutes, we're going to close. I'm going to give you the 2 definitions. If you want the template, just send me on the email. I'll send you the template. We just did right here. Okay, or you are always welcome to go back to the video, and you can just play the video back. Okay, and just look right here and just screenshot it, or however you want to get it. Okay, so but the definition of territory. I'm gonna skim through this real quick. Okay, legal claim. Okay, legal claim. Let's see, what is a legal claim? How to make a legal claim, a file a legal claim. Okay, enforce a legal claim. What is a legal claim? Okay, now they trying to go slow on me. You know, I said about 4 minutes. Okay, what is a legal claim? I keep giving Spanish up here because I'm in Mexico, so they Spanish this, Spanish that. Claim, legal definition of claim. Claim is something that one party owes another. Someone may make a legal claim for money or property or for social security bills. A claim also means, okay, so you're suing somebody for something, right? Something they took from you, it's yours, right? So I'm making a claim. You took my identity. It's a claim. I'm making a claim on something, right? To assert a right, facts that combine a right. Okay, to make a demand for money, property. Okay, it says right here, making a demand, assertion for money due for property for damages, enforcement of right. Such damages are not honored if may result into a lawsuit. Right there. That's what I said right there. That's all I'm looking for. Boom. Right there. It says it may result into a lawsuit. A claim comes before a lawsuit. So yeah, a claim is not a lawsuit. Okay, yeah, we're making a claim, right? And if it has to be in a court, and you say I'm not an Indian, and I showed you that I was, and you keep saying I'm black, and I know that black is not, I want you to prove to me in court why you swear or affirm the penalty of perjury, right there, without lying, 20 years to perjury if you lying, and tell me how black is a nationality. Where? Because we haven't seen anything that said anything that donates to being black to a nationality. Nothing other than you saying it. That's it. Okay? So that's bullshit. Okay? Nobody's black and nobody's white. That's bullshit. What's the statutory declaration? You get on the winning team. I don't know what that. All right. That's all I want to talk about nobody. But you know, it's fun. Some of the stuff that comes to my mind is kind of funny. But I see people talk about a declaration. It's funny to me. Really, it's not hating. If you're doing it wrong, why I'm hating on you? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just laughing. Really, it's funny, man. Look, I watch this shit for comedy. It's all entertainment. You know what I mean? People dressed up like, you know what I mean, the monsters from the, it's funny. You got a mullet on with some feathers. That shit funny to me, man. It's funny. I mean, y'all gonna laugh me to death for real, man. This shit funny, man. Anyway, a bullet with some damn feathers, bro. Statutory declaration template, right? What is a statutory declaration first? All right, and I got 2 minutes. I'm gonna get the definitions. We're gonna be done. I know people be tiresome. Okay, a statutory declaration is a legal document, not a declaration, under the law of certain Commonwealth nations, right? It is similar to a statement made under oath, but it is not sworn. So you don't need to have a damn notary. Talking about we don't sign as a notary. Okay, sign to a notary mean what? A notary is an officer of the court. A court is a what? Magistrate is an administration. An administration. That's what it is. Okay, it's an administration for what? The government. The government who? Federal. Federal what? Feudal. To do what? Collect taxes on behalf of, to represent jurisdictions. Period. So you in a jurisdiction? That what you claiming? How you claiming to be free? Oh, I get it. You a black Indian. That's what you say. You're black and you're Indian. You never got rid of the black, but you're Indian now. No, you got to get rid of the black before you take on the Indian, okay? A statutory declaration does that. And when it's properly filed and recorded, okay, it creates controversy with the already claim that somebody had. Somebody already claimed you as being black. Now you're putting a claim on that, which is making a what? An adverse claim. An adverse claim is no more than a counterclaim. Somebody said you black. You saying I'm not black. I'm Indian. Somebody lying. If you go to court, somebody got to fold. That's it. Because if I sign the penalty of perjury, anytime you do it, the person that's certain the claim has to do it, and the opposite party has to do the same thing. If you don't sign the penalty of perjury, that means you lie automatically. Automatically. Okay? And these are the rules that they play by in court. I don't make this stuff up. All right? Definition of territory. You got 1 minute, guys. We went through Wikipedia, but Wikipedia wanted to spin us around. So let's just go find a Cambridge dictionary version. Okay? And then I'm going to do the definition to corporation to be done with it. All right, territory, an area of land under jurisdiction of a ruler or state. Boom. That's way more vague than that's way more specific than the other term. The other term was vague. I say that it was just broad. It was just, it could lead to many other things, right? So let's go there with that. Boom. I'm sorry, I put a company right there. So a territory is an area of land under jurisdiction. Land under jurisdiction. What is jurisdiction, y'all? You can't see it. Jurisdiction is something imaginary of a ruler or state. So the people of a state run that. Okay? And I know it's getting late, but you can do your own due diligence, right? Look it up. Land under jurisdiction, territory. You are up on a country that is really a corporation. That's all I'm trying to tell you. Let's go through the definition of corporation. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. Corporation, a company or group of people, that is, so it's a company, a group of people. A company is a group of people authorized to act as a single entity, legally a person. So now it's a people. So wait a minute. Now you got people and corporations that don't exist. All this shit is de facto. It's all de facto. Remember that. That's how you're gonna win. It's de facto. It's not real. None of this is real. It's only real because you're giving it your energy and you're giving it your time and you're paying allegiance to it. Stop paying allegiances to it. Stop paying them taxes to that. So file your statutory declaration and do your statutory claim. Hit me up on the email. This is what we do. Okay? This is what I do. This is my area of study. It has been for 7+ years. Okay? I'm doing all this. Okay? I'm in Mexico now. I ain't showed no ID, and I ain't did it going across either. And I got a video of it. But you know what? I don't want to put too much information out there to make myself look bad just to prove it to you. And then guess what? Now they're giving me all kind of hell. For what? I'd rather teach you so you go do it and you can find out for your own. I'd rather do that. Because I don't brag. I don't have to brag about, see, I told you. See, man, I'm not worried about who believes in me, who ain't believing me. I ain't worried about that. Okay? That's why it says right there, recognize as such laws. A company or group of people authorized to act as a single entity, okay? Authorized. Y'all giving them the authorization to act. It's not real. As a single entity, single, legal a person, legally a person. So the United States is a person? Company is a person? A country is not really a country. A country is people, okay? And they're telling you these are not real people. The government is not real people. The government is artificial, okay? It's not real. And it's recognized as such in law. So it's recognized as such a law. So basically it's recognized. What's recognized as such a law? I'm gonna leave y'all with that definition right there. Recognized as such a law. I ain't looking at the damn Excel and that came up. I'm gonna try to get that. Recognized such as in law. What is that? To be recognized such as in law. Everybody went to sleep on it. What does that mean? The definition of corporation. As a single entity, legally person, and recognized as such law. Hit me up on the email. It's my email right here. Get that declaration filed correctly. Tell them that you're an Indian. Let's get it filed. Tell them that you know the game. We know the game. We already looked at the video with Creek Running Water. I know specifically what nationality means. And you can take all this and put an affidavit right here. Boom. Put an affidavit right here. Statement of facts. Make this all your statement of facts and put it to them and tell them what nationality is. Put a picture of you at the end of that and tell them that you're an Indian. There's all kind of ways you could communicate with these people. Okay? That'd be a better declaration than the one that's out. Really. Because it's telling you what nationality is, what it's not. Telling them as a corporation, what their duties, their responsibilities, what they're supposed to be in. I mean, they overstepping certain boundaries by playing certain roles and y'all letting them do it because you don't know what nationality is. Okay? So I'm going to leave y'all with that. Okay? Recognized as such in law. Corporation is an organization. This is funny how I put in recognized as such a law and they put corporation as the definition. A corporation is recognized as such a law. That's what they're telling you. A legal person. This is the definition of what I just put in there. I put recognized as such a law. So it's recognized as such in law. A corporation? Y'all not understanding that they doing slavery And they just tricked you into another way of doing slavery because they abolished the old way of doing it, so they did it this way. That's it. Tricking you. A registered agent, a recognized agent. Y'all keep rocking me on Wednesday, you're gonna get all this. I'm telling you. Like I got people now that have been rocking with me for over a year now. You know what I mean? On a private study, on chats, it's a small group, but you know what I mean? We're gonna branch out and try to, you know, put it on other platforms, you know what I mean, and get people so they can start thinking, you know what I mean, and start be a walking dictionary. Okay. And then these people will never be able to sit across from there and humiliate you and they tell you you're black. Okay? Because we got too many facts to show that we're not. Period. Okay? So take this right here. They go to email right there. I'm gonna go ahead and close this one out. Empress Hobart, you on there? I think
I'm here.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and finish it up. So this is just what it is right here. We just, you know, man, we got all this right here. This is what it is. Okay, in summary, okay, your status belongs to somebody that has a nationality. Okay, the ethnic group of people are part of one political nation, right? That's what a nationality is. Okay, a person with a nationality has a country, okay, which donates to a nation, or naturalized people, a member of a state, or a nation that pays allegiance to a government or a system, a territory. You got a landmass, okay, and then you got citizens and members, which are synonymous to each other, okay, but they're not natives. So you got natives, citizens, and members, okay? And then you got a corporation, you got a country. That's what you got going on right now. All right, so, but anyway, if you want to shoot for Wednesday, we could do the Wednesday.
We can do it Wednesday.
Yeah, I do it Wednesday, and then today we got caught up. They had a rainstorm here. We was flooded out. They had water 4 or 5 feet tall. We had to put our car in neutral and have a push from where it was at so that it wouldn't get flooded out. And that took almost an hour. And when you hit me for the chat, I just walked in. So I had some talking notes put together, but it wasn't finished. So I just basically took some of the definitions that I had to share with nationality to break it all the way down, because I don't think people know what nationality is. Okay, I ain't heard about no knowledge on nationality. I heard people tell you what nationality is and then tell you what to go do with it.
Yeah,
stop letting people tell you what nationality is, and you make your decision to figure out what you are based on what your grandma told you was. Okay,
that part.
And that's what we're gonna end on that, because that's just what it is. Ask these people tomorrow when you go to work what their nationality is. I guarantee you're gonna think about me when you say it though. Then they're gonna say what? Oh, my grandmother or grandfather always told me I was German, or my mother told me I was German. Cool. They're gonna ask you, what is your nationality? They may or may not ask. But think about it to yourself. What did your grandma and your mama told you?
Right.
Okay. And why you listen to somebody else tell you other than what your grandma told you?
Yeah. Why you listen to outside or what your grandma and them told you? You listening to strangers.
Right. But they ain't listening to those strangers though.
Nope. Okay?
I ain't going to nobody white telling me, you came from a cave, man. And they ain't look at you like you crazy. What? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then somebody tell you black, you brown, you're not black, and they look at you like you crazy.
Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna keep pumping this in their head. I'm gonna keep putting it in their face, and then, eventually we're gonna get a lot of some of these people that, the people that want to wake up but just kind of undecided. Those are the ones that want this information.
Yes.
Those are the ones that want the information. That's what we're talking to. So let's go ahead and hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? We got many more of these. We're gonna continue these going. We're gonna, as we go, there's gonna be other things. So if there's something you didn't like about the bill, instead of just putting a thumb down, you can maybe put it in the comments, or maybe hit somebody on the email and say, hey man, can you talk about this more? Can you do this? Can you do all that? Let's stop being a hater and gravitate to negativity, and let's start doing corrective criticism. I don't mind criticism. You know what I mean? I don't mind criticism. Creek, man, you did this, or Creek, you talked too long about that, or you didn't say this, or you didn't mention that. That's fine. Okay, so tell me what I need to do. Let's work on that, right? So we can get together and so we can finally get to the point. And that's what it is. We build to a point. The point is to expound on some information. We all agree, and then we figure out what part we're going to play, and we build a nation. That's it.
That's it.
So we can have a nationality. Can't have a nationality if we got all these people on our land telling us what to do. And they making you pay and make a tenant on your damn land. Now you a slave on your own land. Because you think you're right.
Yes.
You think you're something other than what your grandma told you. That's why.
Yep. Well, we're gonna end it, y'all. We'll be back Wednesday around 7:30 again. So with a continuation.
Right.
High vibes, everybody. Peace, loving, and light.
Peace.
Peace.
You know.